This is the shift. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. A new phase. Yeah. This is the shift. Vibrations been raised. New friends, old friends, part ways. Embrace new change. Heal, cry, purge, fly, feel. Separate the fake from what's real. Accept the red flags for red flags and peel. Don't stick around just to stick around. Let's be real. Trust your intuition and what it's telling you for real. What's the deal while we kill our own self-worth? Had to ask myself, had to put my own self first. Tired of the self-hurt, so I put in that self-work. Tired of the self-hurt, so I put in that self-work. Tired of the self-hurt, so I put in that. Yeah, this is the shift. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah, big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah, big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah, a new phase. Yeah. This is the shift, so welcome to a new age. Age of Aquarius, welcome to a new day. Consciousness been raised, we changing how we do things. Balancing the mood swings, we living in a new way. New life and a new aim, new fame and a new wave. Ego was maintained, not looking just to be praised. Fell down so many times and bounced back like Luke Cage. Today I'm tired, tomorrow I'm okay. New frame of mind, cause I've been through some dark days. Some days were insane, so I walk with some new sage. Some days were insane, hard to stay sane, but I maintain. Some days were cray, hard to stay sane, but I maintain. The shift. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. A new phase. Yeah. This is the shift. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. Big change, big things, a new phase. Yeah. New phase. Yeah. This is the shift, so welcome to a new earth. We manifested this. We changing how we view work, cause 9 to 5 ain't it. We tapped into our own worth, we owning businesses. We put our mental health first, the paradigm has switched. We owning up to self-hurt, we learned our lessons quick. We grown and doing self-work, it's a rebirth. Cause we tapped in and we turned on and we tuned in to a new song. It's been too long, the self-hate is long gone. It's a new dawn and a new wave and a new age. New rules that we remade, old rules need to cremate. Time to create, time to be brave. I told you it's a new day, told you it's a new way, told you it's a new wave and a new age, it's a new day. Shift. Yeah, we made it, y'all. Welcome to a new age. We changing how we do things. It's a new phase. It's a new phase. This is the shift.
No, let's do the sax one now.
That's good. Yeah, I just want to start maybe okay. Um, what else? I don't believe that this is a problem. Most people online. This is bad. This is not good. This is this is a stain on I don't see things that have reason is because honestly, I don't think I'm not saying that the original plots, but I don't believe that the past, at least it does. I can't. Yeah. So regional blacks have not been that effective in the past. So I just feel this kind of thing for it not to just automatically act the whole concept was united because I just find that to be very disingenuous. Um, Congo is going to do what's best for Congo, and so is Zambia, and that's just what it is. Congo is part of the CEMAC, the part of the SADC, the part of the EAC. So they're already part of other regional unions, and what have those unions done for Congo? Absolutely nothing. Zambia is not a part of the union. So technically, well, Zambia is, I believe it's a member state of the AU. But other than that, I don't know what other African Zambians are kind of, they seem to be doing their own thing by themselves and their own way. So one other African is, this looks bad on us. What does that have to do with you? You know what I mean? I don't see things collectively. Never have. Well, okay, I did in the past, but I understand that when you have trouble, when you reach those two issues, there are no other issues like that. So it makes sense. If you think about it, it makes sense why these leaders act as individuals, or it makes sense why these people go for their own best interests. The whole football thing, I'm even shocked that this whole time it wasn't that there were no exclusive rights to the US. I'm actually shocked that they were able to be kind of independent this long because let's face it, the whole world is crazy. The whole world is after that resource that's like in the kind of further developing called vibranium or something like that. That's like the real like vibrant everybody is after that. And cobalt is not like a resource like gold. It's not a resource that's like copper or silver that you can only get. I mean, like you can get in multiple countries. Cobalt is something that you can only get in specific countries and specific regions of countries. So to me, it's like it is what it is. Congo decided to do that. That's fine. That doesn't actually show me. Looking at the leadership of Congo, the Congolese leadership has never been there at all. So the guy would have called medical now, when they're gonna have to change the call it, see their ways, the error in their ways are gonna be more inclusive of other Africans, even their own people in their own country. That is, I don't see that happening unless there is, I would say, a civil war coming from the proletariat. It's a civil war coming from the masses, not a civil war that is theirs, which use resources like actual civil war from an actual protest from the Congolese people against their government. Unless that happens, I don't see anything It doesn't shock me. This is surprising. Go ahead. Let's right react to this. I'm just gonna go ahead and start it. Just gonna go ahead and start it. Followed by the minute business to the body. This is new year. Let me go ahead and change this. I see if the title is shocking me. I don't know what shocking about this. Oh, yes. Oh,
Welcome to another session with Franklin. If this is your first time stopping on my channel, thank you for doing so. Give consideration to smashing the like button if you like what I'm about. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button, and when you do that, smash the bell button, select the all option so you're notified of any uploaded content like this one, or if I'm on a live stream. Okay, now I'm gonna cut the chase. So this one, somebody sent me this video clip and my mind was just blown. Okay, this is about the truckload of one of the truckload of failings in Africa and how Africa has been kept on its knees. So during a recent US African summit, okay, Zambia and Congo signed a memorandum indicating a total surrender of the supply chain and production of copper and cobalt to American control. A total surrender. Okay, watch this video before make any further comments.
Sign or witness the signing of a memorandum of understanding in which the U.S. will support the DRC and Zambia in developing an electric vehicle value chain. I really want to commend the DRC and Zambia, their governments, for their leadership and vision in developing an electric vehicle battery council. This is the future, and it is happening in the DRC and the Zambia. DRC produces more than 70% of the world's cobalt. Zambia is the world's 6th largest copper producer, and 2nd largest cobalt producer in Africa. Global demand for critical minerals is going to skyrocket over the next decades. The plan to develop an electric battery supply chain opens the door for U.S. and like-minded investment to keep more value added in Africa. Electric vehicles help reduce carbon emissions. They support the global response to the climate crisis. This memorandum of understanding that we're about to sign signals the support by the U.S. government for what is a very important project between the two countries. Different government agencies, USAID, Commerce, the Trade and Development Agency, are exploring technical assistance for the EV supply chain. Our Exim Bank, the Development Finance Corporation, will be exploring financing and support mechanisms for investment in African electric vehicle value chains.
So just so you understand, I've got my notes here. DRC, that's the Congo, right, supplies 70% of the world's cobalt. Just Congo, right, alone, 70%. That's huge. Now, some of you already know this, and I've been saying this for time. The entire parts of the world, the other parts of the world need Africa to survive. Africa doesn't need them to survive. Now, if you don't know how serious this is, now the beneficiaries of this so-called cobalt from Congo, from DRC, The beneficiaries are you have the likes of Tesla, which they use for their so-called batteries and the fancy Tesla cars that you see in America. The Tesla, the Fords, Apple, the Apple phones, iPhone 13, 14 Pro, blah, 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 Apple Mac, MacBook, and whatnot, all the fancy gadgets that we pretty much use, right? And others, and also inclusive of China, okay?
Okay. So where I'll say I disagree with Franklin is when he was like, um, what did he say? He was like the world needs Africa. Africa does not the world. I disagree with that. It's I'm just being nitpicky, but I 100% disagree with that because it's like I wouldn't say it's mutually beneficial, but at the end of the day, like if we look at the technologies on the continent that people are using, it didn't come from the continent. It came from outside of the continent. So to be disingenuous and to be so salty and say that Africa doesn't need the West, I think is kind of not necessary to make that point. Like I get it, you have the materials, you're not able to refine it. That's cool. But you should be thankful that someone else is refining your own materials, else they would just still be on the ground at this point because no one, I mean, I guess no one cares about actually cultivating their own products, actually investing into their own industries. There's always seems to be an excuse. So that whole thing of Africa doesn't need the whole world is just, I don't know why you wouldn't even need to say that. Like, I don't get it. But what I'll say, sorry guys, I did not know that the mic was not working. I seriously did not know. But what I was saying is, it's interesting that even in this video, the title is shocking Zambia and DRC, blah, blah, blah. To me, none of this is shocking. Like, what do you expect these nation states to do? Congo is in, at least from my recollection, in three regional organizations. It's in SADC, it's in CEMAC, and it's in now East Africa Community, right? So it's in three. So don't you think that someone or a nation state that's in three regional organizations should be having a plan? Or no, absolutely not. Zambia is not part of any. Zambia is not part of any. So it's like these nation states already do their own things. They already either can't get it together or they don't care. So when I see their leaders being selfish like this, it does not shock me. It doesn't surprise me. I'm not offended. You had so many people whose hearts were broken for this decision of Congo doing something like this. And I'm like, when has Congo not broken your heart? Like, and I'm not even trying to be rude or mean, but when has the government of Congo done anything that's even newsworthy? Absolutely nothing. So this to me was not heartbreaking at all. Like this was just like, okay, it's another day in Africa. What else? What else? What else is new? You know what I mean? And I mean, this is not to take away from the fact that I think it was Eritrea who decided not to go. So shout outs to Eritrea for not going. That's actually pretty gutsy. And then Mali, Burkina Faso, and who else? Is it Guinea? Some like four other nations were not allowed to go because they were like, you guys have military coups, we don't want to talk to you. But other than that, it was only Eritrea who stood up and said, we're not interested in this US Africa summit. We're not interested in basically de-sucking for billions of dollars. So, I mean, all of this is just bad. Like, I don't know where to start. Like, this is a disgrace. It really is. But let me continue the video.
China is also a huge.
Do you want to grow your YouTube channel? You should consider getting TubeBuddy.
Really?
I've been using TubeBuddy for the last 2 years.
Nation that's heavily dependent on this supply. Now, what these spineless African leaders have done, and I've been saying it for time, they are basically the foot soldiers, they're the gatekeepers of the white supremacy in Africa. They're the foot soldiers who ensure that Africa remain on its knees, and they pretty much just keep signing away.
I don't mean to pause this video so much, but I'll say I slightly agree, but not so much. I don't like the whole let's just blame everything on the African leaders. You guys will probably think I hate Congo by the end of this stream, and I promise you I don't. But the nation is just it's just not doing anything. I've never heard DRC mentioned for anything good other than dancing and music. You know, Congolese people are nice, but the nation of Congo, what has it ever done? Seriously. They're not leading anything. And that's the part that kills me, is when you have people talking about, oh well, they're the richest country in Africa. I'm like, so what does that matter when a whole Eastern Congo war is literally ruining the whole image of your country? Like, what does that matter that you have good dancers, that you have good music? What are you bragging about? Right? Like, okay, Congo's the richest country in Africa, and how's that helping you right now? It really isn't. It's actually making you a target. Not only are other Africans pillaging your resources, but so is the West. So what are you bragging about? You can't defend your nation. Seriously. Like, I don't know what they're bragging about, but to blame everything on I'll just say pink supremacy is just like, yeah, no, let's not do that. Let's really come up with internal solutions if we want to do that, which I don't think we do. That's fine. But to just say pink supremacy, like, why do people act like colonialism was that long? It wasn't. Tops for Congo, tops. It could not have been more than 500 years in Congo. So I don't want to hear about this whole, oh, we're colonized, this person is stealing from us, we're doing this, we're doing that. Like, number one, victim mentality, always. It's really annoying. Like, stop being international basket cases. Oh, and to everyone else, some of these pro-blacks, this is specifically towards you guys, right? Some of these pro-black, pro-African, whatever you want to call yourselves, you guys are always here talking about what are the solutions for Congo. Stop buying iPhones, stop buying Androids, stop buying laptops, stop buying any type of technology. Do not own an electric vehicle, and then we could talk about what the solutions would be. You're complacent just as much as everyone else is, but you want to act like, oh yeah, we need to go and help Congo. Why don't you go over there in Eastern Congo and do something about it if you care that much? Oh wait, you don't.
Selling off the resources of Africa. And if I may, I really don't want to take too much time talking in this video, but if you've been watching me for a minute, I do quite a lot of live streams, and a lot of people have contacted me and say, Franklin, please.
Okay, good. Think we get the point. So that's basically what happened. Zambia and Congo signed off their mining rights towards the U.S. and the U.S. Africa Summit, and Zambia also has coltan or cobalt or whatever you use for these type of technologies. So the criticism here is that they sold themselves and they sold the continent, and I'm literally sitting here thinking, how did they sell the continent? How did they do that? Like, when did they do that? Do I believe that there should be better deals and I guess more fair, more practical, morally sustainable deals when it comes to the mining of these resources? Absolutely. But I mean, see, on one hand, I'm like, there's a problem. On the other hand, I'm like, would the international community be okay with actually paying these people what they're worth? Would the international community be okay with paying $2,000, $3,000 plus for a phone? No, they wouldn't. And that's just the cold world, unfortunately. You know, I I battle between, do I believe in the resource curse theory and do I not? And I'm kind of gearing towards yes, I do believe that it exists, because there's no way that you could be a country like Congo, have all those resources, and think that you're going to be safe. In fact, they just talked about conflict minerals. I'll get to that in a minute in the video. But they were like, have you guys noticed that every time there's a conflict somewhere, resources are being pillaged for next to nothing? That's been the game for hundreds of years, probably even thousands, I don't know. So this thing of, okay, we need to help Eastern Congo, it's like no one really wants to put the resources into doing that, because doing that would mean that everything would have to be fair, and that we would also have to pay fair prices for these materials and these technologies, and evidently we do not really want to do that. So if you ask me, do I see a solution to what's going on in Congo? No, not in my lifetime. But let me continue the second video. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Like, do you guys care? Do you guys not care? Are you guys shocked? Are you guys not shocked? Because the general consensus I got is that people were shocked by this. And okay, let's see here.
A new one that all automotive companies, frankly, are dealing with right now is conflict minerals requirements. And conflict minerals came about in effect because the governments in the area, in this case, the Democratic Republic of Congo, which is probably one of the most dangerous places on the face of the planet, local NGOs or non-governmental organizations and the local governments couldn't solve the problem of basically people getting killed to fund, in this case, mining minerals illegally, to fund these armed militias and these armed groups. What the governmental agencies and the NGOs sought was, in fact, a market solution. They said, look, if we can get companies to only buy material from that area that's coming from registered mines, in other words, legitimate businesses, then we have an opportunity to break the funding cycle. And if we can break the funding cycle, we can break the violence. The challenge there is that the companies that are needing to deal with this, the automotive companies, the OEs and the tier ones, tier twos, et cetera, are very distant from these mineral sources. It's not like it's something sitting in their backyard. So trying to manage that through their supply chains has been an immense effort on the part of these companies. And what they're finding as they go through it is, one, it's very difficult to figure out where these minerals come from in the first place. But then once you've figured it out, now what do you do, right? And the interesting thing about this, and as we've talked with a number of different groups, it becomes very clear, is there's two aspects to this. One aspect is a regulatory compliance matter, right? I need to be in compliance with the SEC's rules and regulations, right?
Okay, yeah, sorry for the background noise. Clearly busy, but honestly, I don't know. Like, I don't know. If you look at just every country, almost every country that has resources in on the continent, with the exception of maybe Botswana, this seems to be the same case. So that's why I don't like it when other Africans, especially, make fun of other Africans for not being able to refine their minerals to have actual industries, when it's like, neither do you. Like, if you're gonna make fun of me for not being able to handle gold, as they say, then how come Congo never gets any criticism for not being able to handle cobalt at all? Like, that's a failure. You need to do better. Anyways, yeah, Kaizo. I was like, yeah, no. Like, Kaizo was talking about Somalis per usual. Yeah, no.
The second, and this is important for this one, and I think it's going to be an important play in many of the regulations that we see going forward, is that there's a brand issue associated. You don't want to be the brand, right, that's associated in the market with people getting killed in the DRC.
Oh, and by the way, like, I haven't looked too much into it, or too deep into it, but specifically the situation in the DRC, um, well, the modern biggest culprit is the USA and China. So it's interesting how the USA there'll be issues and conflicts happening in Congo. The USA will sanction, or they'll just send the UN troops over there to quote unquote help them, but it's like, but you're still buying the resources from them in the background anyways. So anyways, it's just really, really interesting. At least I think it is, that the people who you ask to help you are also the ones taking from you by acting like they're not doing it.
See. So now it says, if you do find you have these minerals, what do you do with that? How do you change that picture, right? How do you get a supplier who may be 6, 8 levels down in your supply chain to change sources? And that's what these companies are just now beginning to grapple with. This first phase that they're going through is really, what can I know where and how can I know it? The second phase becomes, now, what do I do with it, right? How do I actually use this information? And I think conflict minerals is a first piece of what we will see in terms of what I would call many sustainability types or social responsibility types of regulations that we're going to continue to see. We just saw a study that came out that was a survey of attitudes of younger buyers, 30-year-olds and younger. And what they found is that those 30-year-olds, that audience, right, which is kind of starting to become prime buying age for vehicles, is paying much more attention to the social responsibility aspects of the products they're buying than the older generation.
I don't necessarily agree with that, because everyone I know who's Gen Z, at least, um, is kind of aware of what's going on, kind of has an idea that these minerals are not being sourced responsibly, yet they'll be the first ones to buy a new phone every single year. You know, in the case of vehicles, as this gentleman is mentioning, maybe they honestly don't have the money right now to purchase these vehicles, but I've never heard a Gen Z be like, oh no, I'm rethinking, I'm thinking of not buying this vehicle because of the batteries, or lithium powered batteries. I'm having second thoughts about that. I want to really look deep into what I'm buying. I don't think that's the case. This Gen Z, specifically Gen Z, whatever, they are also the same ones that buy clothes at cheap discounts. They know that these were made in Bengali sweatshops and they still buy them. So I don't, if he's comparing it towards other generations, let's say boomers, sure, I would say we're more socially aware, but does that make us ethically like better spenders? I don't think so. I think he's giving us too much credit. I think he's giving millennials and Gen Z a little bit too much credit on that. But
So the older generations look at that and say, okay, fine. The younger generation says, no, 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 no. I care about this stuff. What is the company doing in the conflict mineral space? What are they doing about human trafficking? What are they doing about wage issues in foreign countries? And they factor that into their buying decision. So if we think it's just a regulatory compliance issue, it's not. It's both a regulatory compliance and a brand issue. And we need to manage both of those. And we need to think about these social responsibility regulations in that context. And we are going to have nothing more than more of these, I think, as we go forward.
okay, so yeah, that's why I call it cop when serious cop when everyone's talking about, oh, the situation that's happening in Congo. It's so sad. Like nobody cares. Everyone has a smartphone. Most people here have a smartphone. You're probably listening to this live stream on the smartphone. You probably own an iPad. You probably own a couple of laptops as well. So nobody cares about the situation. We just want to go on social media and complain and be like, oh, how dare they do this? But we are just as complacent as everyone else. I wouldn't say we're more complacent than the top players in this game, but we are pretty complacent in all of this. So I don't know where all of this, like social media cry for justice, I don't know where any of this is coming from, to be quite honest. But yeah, so that was a bit about Congo. One more clip. Oh yeah, and do you guys also have the winter storm? Oh, right here.
Okay, well, I started traveling to the Congo 5 years ago. I've been doing research on slavery and child labor for about 20 years, traveling all around the world, documenting slaves and child laborers, human trafficking. And this came across my radar maybe 7 years ago. People started talking in the field about cobalt. Cobalt's in the batteries. It's in the Congo. The conditions are horrible. And I had no idea. I never heard of this. So I started planning to take trips to get down there. And I took my first trip back in 2018. My plan was I thought I would try to lay the groundwork to do some academic research. And the things I saw there were so appalling and heart wrenching and urgent that I changed my approach. I thought people need to know about this. I need to write a book, and so I started planning more trips, and I just kept going back. And the reason this is important, Joe, and we can dig into this in more depth. Throughout the whole history of slavery, I mean, I'm going back centuries. Never in human history has there been more suffering that generated more profit and was linked to the lives of more people around the world ever in history than what's happening in the Congo right now. And the reason I say that is this. The cobalt that's being mined in the Congo is in every single lithium ion rechargeable battery manufactured in the world today. Every smartphone, every tablet, every laptop, and crucially, every electric vehicle. So you and I, we can't function on a day-to-day basis without cobalt, and 3/4 of the supply is coming out of the Congo. And it's being mined in appalling, heart-wrenching, dangerous conditions. And so that's why people need to know, because by and large, the world doesn't know what's happening in the Congo.
It's something that people sort of know peripherally, that that they call them conflict minerals, and they know that they're coming from an area of the world that's very poor, but I don't think people are aware of how horrible it is. There have been some documentaries that have been done on it, and they're all terrifying.
Yeah, so conflict minerals was phase 1, and that's actually not cobalt.
What does it refer to? Conflict minerals?
Conflict minerals, also called the 3TG minerals, are tin, tungsten, tantalum, and gold. And those are in the eastern Congo. And that catastrophe started around the year 2000, late 1990s, 2000, shortly after the Rwandan genocide. The militias moved in, and the eastern Congo is sitting on some of the largest reserves in the world of those 3TG minerals, especially tantalum. And those are all used in microprocessors. And you can think back to, around the year 2000, mobile phones first started coming out and gaining traction. I still remember my little StarTAC flip phone that I had from Motorola. You remember that?
Sure.
And all that supply was coming out of Eastern Congo. Militias and warlords were forcing the local population at gunpoint, machete point, to dig this stuff out. And it was flowing up into the formal supply chain, into mostly those first generation cell phones. And that became known as conflict minerals. Cobalt started later. Cobalt really took off about 10, 12 years ago. And it's in another part of the country, in the mining provinces in the southeast of the Congo. And cobalt took off because it was started to be used in lithium ion batteries to maximize their charge and stability. And it just so happens that the Congo, just as it was sitting on more than half the world's reserves of coltan, and of course a lot of gold and diamonds and other things, is sitting on more cobalt than the rest of the planet combined. And it's in a small little patch of the Congo, southeastern corner, a part that used to be called Katanga. And before anybody knew what was happening, Chinese government, Chinese mining companies took control of almost all the big mines.
Yeah, the Chinese basically own pretty much most of the mines. They had not only did they have the vision, the discipline, and they had the finances to actually invest into that. It's really unfortunate that, this is why I really call cap on the whole African unity thing, because why did another African country not invest into that? Oh, they didn't, but then they'll be the same ones calling these people sellouts when, where were you? Like, where were you to offer them a deal? Nowhere. So then they went with China. then they went with Europe, then they went with USA, and now they're being called sellouts. That's interesting. I always find that to be very, very interesting. It's like, I have a product, none of you guys are going to buy it, and I sell it to Europeans, and then I'm called a sellout. I always find that very, very, very interesting. But
and the local population has been displaced, is under duress, and they dig in absolutely subhuman, gut-wrenching conditions for $1 a day, feeding cobalt up the supply chain into all the phones, all the tablets, and especially electric cars.
And we're looking at a video now. Jamie, what is this? The mines?
This is his video. So I think so.
This is
Yeah.
so crazy to see.
This is the bottom of the supply chain of your iPhone, of your Tesla, of your Samsung. I mean, I'm just naming those companies.
Right.
It's all of them, right? All of them. We're not just picking on them. And here's what you need to know, Joe, about this video. I was the first outsider to get into this mine. And that's why it's just a really short video that I was able to take. This is an industrial cobalt mine where there's not supposed to be one artisanal miner. Now, that's the term used for people who are just digging by hand as opposed to tractors and excavators. There's not supposed to be one here. That's what the story is told at the top of the chain. This mine, and I can name it, it's called Shabara. There's not supposed to be one artisanal miner here, according to the consumer-facing tech companies and EV companies buying this cobalt. Lo and behold, I walk into this place, and this is what I see. There's more than 15,000 human beings crammed into that pit, digging by hand. And if you have sound, you hear the mallets, you hear the shouting, you hear the grunts. It's a massive humanity. You might expect to see a scene like this.
okay, I'm gonna continue the video, but before I do, I have a question for anybody who wants to answer. Whose responsibility is it to fix this? Because, I mean, I'm not even trying to sound insensitive here, but this problem has preceded most of us. This problem has a problem for, from what I can remember, at least 30 years. So who is supposed to get involved in this? Like, who's actually supposed to do something about this? That's what I don't understand. Like, everyone's looking, everyone knows that there's a problem, but nobody wants to get involved. So to me, and then no offense, but these are the same people that say we're part of the East African community, we're part of this, we're part of that, you're part of all these organizations. None of them want to speak to you about this. It's just interesting to me. It's just very interesting to me.
Recordings just got better.
Yo, my bad.
Hey, it's Dana from StreamYard. I'm so excited to
I didn't want to
announce
download the video.
So there's a term that gets used, clean cobalt.
There's no clean cobalt.
It's not real.
No. It's all marketing. It's all PR. It's a fiction. Just like that place, there's not supposed to be any artisanal mining there. It's all done industrially. That's the story told at the top of the chain. Company on planet Earth that makes a device that has a rechargeable battery in it that can reliably and justifiably claim that their cobalt isn't coming from sources like that. And that's the truth.
Yeah, so basically he's repeating what he was saying in the beginning, that, you know, all the companies do it. So basically, if you own a handheld device, you're culpable in this as well, which is the appropriate question of why I'm asking what are we supposed to do about it when we actively participate in this, whether willingly, unwillingly, knowingly, unknowingly. Well, we do. So what are we supposed to do about it? Are we supposed to do anything about it? I don't know. I'm not part of any union or organization, well, except for African Union, I guess. Except for African Union, I'm not really part of any organization with Congo. So I don't know what people are expecting from me. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, the question I have is, what are the East and Central Africans doing about this? But, you know, if I ask that, I'm a bad guy.
truth that needs to get out there. That's the truth people need to understand, because this is a story that goes back generations. There's these fictions told at the top of the chain about what conditions are like at the bottom, and truth seekers have to go find that truth and enlighten civilization so that people get agitated about it and want to do something about it. So there's no clean cobalt. Let's just make that totally abundantly clear. And anyone that claims otherwise is either peddling in falsehoods or is recklessly ignorant of the truth.
Unimaginable poverty.
I've never seen one. And I've been to almost all the major industrial cobalt mines. Here's why I say that. Number one, they all or almost all will have scenes like that on them. Thousands of individuals clanking of other artisanal mining sites, scattered artisanal miners inside. Last year, so 2021 is the last year, there's not enough cobalt outside of the Congo to meet demand. And demand projections are 400, 500, 600% increase in cobalt demand in the next decade or two, primarily being driven by adoption of electric vehicles. Each battery pack in an EV requires up to 10 kilograms of refined cobalt. That's 1,000 times what's required for a smartphone. So huge demand as the world transitions from internal combustion engines to electric vehicles, which is a net good thing, except for the people in the Congo. So there's not enough other cobalt out there. Even if all the non-Congo cobalt was perfectly sourced, there's not enough other cobalt out there to meet demand.
These companies that we talked about that use all this stuff, whether it's electric vehicle companies or cell phone manufacturers, obviously they're aware of this.
Yes, no question. They have to be.
Have they made any attempts to mitigate this in any way?
The truth, Joe, is no, not sufficient efforts. Most of what is done is PR statements, marketing. All these companies will say we have zero tolerance policies on child labor. We ensure standards of dignity and human rights for every member of our supply chain, down to the mining level. They'll all say this, down to the mining level. And they say it. And they may throw some money at the odd NGO or coalition or alliance that's meant to be working on these things. Nothing's actually happening on the ground. And that's what my book will demonstrate. You know, as I take the reader on the journey from place to place, mine to mine, there's this fiction that exists outside of the Congo of what companies are doing and what the conditions are like. And then there's the reality. Underneath those layers of obfuscation, there's the reality. There's the truth on the ground. And not one company, not one business alliance, not one entity up the chain is doing remotely enough to ensure that the dignity and human rights of the people of the Congo, not to mention the environment, because although mining companies are just polluting and clear-cutting forests to build and expand mines, they're not doing nearly enough to respect the people and earth of the Congo, while we outside enjoy our, renewable, gadget-driven lifestyles.
Okay, so you basically explained it all. Okay, so that's why I personally am not upset with Zambia or Congo for doing what they did, because they've been having to figure this out by themselves with no help from the continent. So, I mean, they're going to look out for themselves. They're going to look out for their own interests, even though, yes, it's kind of a double-edged sword because it doesn't solve what's going on in their country. But, I mean, none of these regions, and I keep stressing that, because what's the point in joining a region if none of those members are going to help you in your time of need? If people don't know about cobalt or coltan, they at least know about Eastern Congo. They know about that, right? They know about that. Yet they don't care. So can what do you expect them to do when they're sitting there alone with the US? What is another African country gonna tell them? Oh, don't do it. We'll buy from you instead. They're not gonna do that. Or we'll provide assistance. Kenya said that they're gonna go there and help them. What has Kenya done? Kenya hasn't done anything. But anyways, that's all I have for right now. If anybody wants to come in, I will drop the link. But yeah, I've been speaking about this for almost an hour now, so I'm kind of exhausted. I don't have anything else to say. Oh, and Zambia. How can I forget Zambia? Okay, so Zambia is nicknamed a Chinese colony. If we're looking at the debt to GDP ratio, Zambia is in the top 5. So Zambia is listed as number 5 country that owes the most debt to China. DRC Congo is number 4. And I mean, there are other countries up there too. But what I'll say is about the other countries is they seem to be doing a little bit better than these other countries. So to me, it's like, I don't know. It's like I care, but I'm not going to be that one social justice warrior that goes like, this is so bad when I literally have an iPhone in my hand right now. Like, I'm complacent in this as well, so I can't act like all brand new. What's up? Oh, okay. All right. So in the meanwhile, I'll just play what they were saying about Zambia. Kiddo, are you still there? Okay, actually, let me just add. Hey, what's going on?
Hi, African Millennial. Thanks for having me, and greetings to those on the chat and the viewers. Yeah, I just saw this video. You know, it appears the video was just released not long ago. Hello, yeah, we can hear you. Um, yeah, the video was released just recently, and those sites they remind me of this scene I saw on what was this film that came out recently? Was it the Black Adam or something? You know, where they were doing this mining. It's weird because that mining scene in that movie was supposed to be thousands of years ago, and that's what is present on the continent today. It's crazy. Um, I think part of why those things can exist is because, as the guy said, they are living on $1 to $2 a day. And if you look at many African countries, even without being in the mines, they live on $1 to $2 a day. Many people do that. So for the government to say, okay, let's differentiate here and act differently on this one, it's going to be inconsistent with what they are already doing on the continent as a whole. Even if this one seems like, oh, looking at it is jarring. For me, if I look at it, it's not so different from what they are doing to Nigerians. Nigerians are being paid pittance on a daily basis. Their minimum wage is almost nothing. So, and that is where this flows from. And all these East African countries, what are they going to do if you want to say you want to confront the Western company and say, mine it properly, give out the right money and all the rest of it? They could do that, but it will still require, it will mean that they will solve all the problems on the continent too. They will take care of their security, they will take care of every other thing, but they are not going to do that, so they will just let this one carry on. This is not so far away from what the Chinese were doing to each other how many decades ago. The Chinese were going through hell too. And just Barely 10 years ago, they were showing pictures of Chinese people putting nets between buildings so people don't jump and die. So yeah, this is the world we live in. And it will be interesting though, because the guy said that the Chinese are the ones that own most of the mines. And I find that hard to believe because electric vehicles are mostly in the West. And most of the most advanced electric vehicle usage of this cobalt is in the West. So I don't understand why the Chinese companies are the ones that own most of them. I find that a little bit incredible to believe. So it's something that probably needs to be looked into further, because sometimes some of all these things is just counter what they call it, counter intelligence against other world powers present on the continent. Because these Western media, they want to kick the Chinese out. So it could be that is the real target, not us. Not like they're going to change anything. These people knew. You think this guy 7 years ago he was doing this, he didn't know that this stuff was going. He knows. He's acting as if he cares now, but his whole purpose may be totally something different. You can't trust any of these people when they are doing what they are doing. Point is, it's a sorry sight. It's something Africans have to do away with, and I can see there are signs that African leaders are moving in that direction. They are trying to come together a little bit, but I'm not so optimistic, especially with East Africans at the moment, because at least the Nigerian scene, they are talking about changing their defense posture. At least some, you can hear them, they are making a noise. They want to change their defense posture, they want to increase their military size and all that stuff. But Kenya, they say they want to go to Congo to stop the war there with 900 soldiers they send there. I don't know how you are going to stop a war in a country with 900 extra soldiers. That country has over 100 million people. So I don't know how you are going to do that. So maybe they too, they are just going there to perpetuate the same thing. After all, Kenya was in this thing, Somalia, for decades, and not much progress happened until more recently when all the others got in there and started making progress. So this is a very, it's one of those sorry states that you see on the continent that you feel like our leaders are doing something about, but you also feel uncomfortable that they are not going to change. Nothing is going to change in the near future based on history. We've been seeing this. This is not new. The guy even went on to talk about how the other minerals were being stolen too, like the tantalum, gold, and all the rest. This is
Yep.
historic stuff. So it hasn't changed. The stuff that has been happening since the year 2000 that they talked about, not much has changed from that till now. It still carries on the same way. And these people have leaders, but they're not doing anything. It's just a sorry state. And I just feel like African countries, they really need to get their act fast. And they need to get their act together fast, because time is not on their side. This is going to happen and on until the Chinese, the Russians, the Americans, the NATO, all of them, when they stop fighting each other, we don't have any say then. We don't have any say then. They can just come and do whatever they like there. This is the time for us to get our act together and start stopping these things. There is so much wealth in that region. I'm not even looking at the cobalt, the whole area. Look at the land mass. The land mass in that region is so. For me, I've never seen an area so green and so lightly populated. It's crazy. The landmass is massive, and very few people are in those regions. Look at Central African Republic. Look at this in the other Congo, and even the main Congo is so massive, and yet the population is completely, like, compared to Nigeria, very very little population there, and they have so much resources, and African leaders can't even make this work for them. I don't understand what they need. You have all these resources. You guys can't gang together and say, you know what? For better or for worse, if we stick together, and the truth is, if they stick together, they know that nobody can do anything to them. Nobody can defeat them. They can't gang up together and say, for better or for worse, enough of this. We need to put our head together and solve our problems
But
ourselves.
the question is, do you blame Congo and Zambia for doing it when the other Africans, I don't believe that they've tried to help them or come together with them. Like, the other African nations haven't done anything to show interest of wanting to come together and do anything.
Yeah. the African leaders themselves. Sorry, repeat that again. I think I missed one of the point you made there.
Everyone's upset at Zambia and Congo for going to the US or whatever when technically the US came to them, right? Or the US was already there. But other African countries have not done anything to reach out to these nations to try to do anything or help them or yeah, like they
That's
haven't
true.
given them any offers.
That is true. This problem is multi-dimensional. It has so many aspects to it. Because like Nigeria now is an example. When Nigeria tries to, have some relationship with the Niger Republic, oh, the Southerners will be like, oh no, you're having a relationship with your brothers in the north, so that you can come and invade. You know what kind of attitude that Africans have? This so petty attitude that we have, we don't see the bigger picture. And the same thing is happening in that region whereby instead of us to look at what is happening to Zambia and Botswana or Malawi, we just, act as if it's their problem. Let's deal with our own problem. This thing where we have 50-something countries is making us feel like everybody's in their own turf. And the recent deal with the Americans, when I read a bit of it, the details about it, Americans were talking about creating a value chain. I was trying to say that they are going to do some manufacturing in those countries. I'm not buying it. And even if they are doing manufacturing in those countries, what you're going to find is it's going to be stratified in such a way that the whole technology, everything will belong to the Americans, and they are not going to pass it on to the locals. Just like oil companies that come to Nigeria to come and take oil, but they don't necessarily, build our refineries for us or give us a refinery. As a matter of fact, they make sure the refineries don't function. So that is what Africans need to watch out for. When they say they want to create a value chain, you should be careful, because it's rarely the Americans do anything to favor Africans. Personally, for me, that's still a mystery. I can't get my head around why they feel so strongly against Africans, because they didn't feel that strongly against the Japanese. They didn't feel that strongly against the South Koreans or the people from Taiwan, even to Indians. You can see that Americans to an extent is competing with those people. But when it comes to Africa, Jesus Christ, what is this?
Yeah. So we're gonna let I was gonna let multifaceted share, but she just dropped off. Anyways, JC, what's going on?
What's up, AM? Yeah, man, it's it's an interesting topic, AM. I wanted to say before I start, I'm tired of being a Somali. Like the reason why I'm tired of it is everyone's got it. Everyone's got it out for us, man. I just want to be a peaceful African,
so
man.
you thought this is Somali discussion again? What is this?
No, I'm just tired too, man, bro. AM, you got any African countries that are peaceful that has no problems with any other African? Let's say somebody like Chad. No one really cares about Chad. No one talks about Chad. I wish I was a Chadian. You know what I mean? Peaceful.
Chad
no one
has
really gives a
a
damn.
lot of problems, man. Chad has a lot of problems too.
Yeah, he's got problems with France, but he doesn't have problems with Africans, and Africans ain't gonna be talking about them.
So
Africans ain't gonna call them mixed race every 3 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Or go back to Yemen, their favorite one. So yeah, I just want to be a peaceful African, man. I want to experience peace. But yeah, other than that, China, what can we say? Africans yet again looking at two superpowers and which daddy do they want? Huh? Do they want the Chinese daddy or the American daddy? I mean, at this point, it's sad watching Africans have to resort to begging European or Asian superpowers to protect them. I mean, we're a continent, the biggest continent in the world. It's sad.
Why do Africa need a daddy at all?
I mean, because again,
did you hear me?
It's because of sellouts.
That doesn't make any sense.
Sellouts. That's the problem. If Africa put together, nobody can tell us what to do. If North Africans, East Africans, South Africans, all of them come together, no power in this world can tell us what to do. No matter how strong they can't.
So when Americans say we want a conference meeting with the Africans, all the African leaders better be there. That's how it is. That's how bad it is. We're commanded.
But then what's wrong with the African leaders then? That's the problem.
They're boneless. They have no ball sacks and they're boneless. They have no spine.
But But then you
It's
have
because
They lack both.
the
Listen,
community.
many
I'll
continentals
put it.
are sellouts.
I'll put it into simple words. They have no ball sacks or a spine.
Many
Simple as
continentals
that,
are
really.
sellouts. That's the problem. Not Africans. Half of them probably want to join the Europeans to invade Africa. East Africans, they
Come
are
on,
also living.
Niger.
No.
We need North
I
Africans.
think that is where the problem is. Because if you look at it, if the Africans think about it, the Africa is 1.7 billion in population. They have a massive landmass. If they came together and say, you know what, because North Africans, they have a big military. Many of their countries. If the sub-Saharan Africans go and get a big
God
military and say,
save
you know
us if
what,
Egypt
you
decides to
can't,
attack. That's
you
what I'm
can't
saying.
tell us what to do. No, hold on. You tell the Chinese, you can't tell us what to do. You tell the American, you can't tell us what to do. But we can do business with you on an African basis, whereby everything you do has to go through the African DC Union. You will see that they will respect it. You know, the last time I saw South Africa and South African president, Nigerian president, Ghana president, and Senegalese president, everything they asked for, they always got it. Once African leader put head together, look at the Kenyan president and Ethiopian president, what they did with this conflict in DC. When African leaders put head together, they get what they want. The problem is they don't do it enough.
Okay, but the other piece is Africa doesn't need any other country. They don't need China. They don't need America. They don't need none of. But they can't see that.
They have their own resources. They don't depend on other continents.
You have everything everyone wants. Why do you think that you need other people? It's like
I'll tell you how this
complex.
works. Americans take the natural resources and they take the food and crops from Africa. Then they give a percentage. Then they give a percentage back through their charity aids, which is BS. They give it back through the maybe the Red Cross or
anything that's not given.
No. They steal it. Then they give a percentage back and say this is charity. What kind of fuckery is that?
You can't take anything unless it's given to you.
One mic.
They can't take
BS.
anything.
No, it's
Do
BS.
you understand
Multifaceted. Yeah, Shay, I was gonna say, look, it's BS because they take their resources, they take the food, they take everything they possibly can. They give 5% back through their charity organizations, so they look good on their channels and their
What she's
newspapers.
saying is that we are the ones that allow them to come and take it in the first place.
Yeah, but then again, Tunisia is the leaders. We have leaders that are in.
So wait a minute. If it's the leaders, then that means the people in the community must move differently. Africa should be doing business from country to country. They don't need to do no business with China. They don't need to do no business with anyone. Okay, when I got back, I'm here in the United States. But when I was in Tanzania, and I'm noticing every country I've been to, when I bring my ass back to the United States, they don't take nobody damn money but their own. I can't spend not one Tanzania dollar here. When other countries don't realize that you don't need other countries. You just need your own. And they know the rule is divide and conquer. When them colonizers came in and split the fucking country, excuse my language, when they split everything up and made Zambia, Nigeria, all these different countries, that make them know that when they want to slide themselves in and make a deal, that's how they're going to do the business. I'm going to make a deal with this country and I ain't got to do the business with other countries. But Africa need to be one whole union together.
Look, you cannot blame.
Ain't no backdoor deals.
You cannot blame the colonizers. You cannot blame these people that came to colonize us. Our leaders.
It's both sided. It's both sided. I'm not just saying. I'm not blaming. I'm blaming the people.
Our leaders are naturalists.
No.
Hold on.
Because guess what? The leader is going to take advantage. The leader is going to take advantage, as you see. You look at Africa right now. You see it.
No matter how you say, look, black people are naturally traitors. That's just the truth.
Oh, it's not. That's not fair.
No, that's not true.
That's not fair.
That's not true.
Wait.
They have traitors in every group.
Where black people are naturally traitors and they are sellout. That's just
no, that's not true. But then what the hell are you? So are you a naturally traitor and sellout? What are you talking about?
Hold on. No matter how we say it, black people are naturally wicked to their fellow blacks. You said
no. Europeans are even worse. Europeans are even worse to each other.
That's not true.
Hold on.
Do you know the European history? Big this dog. The Europeans are worse to each other.
Europeans learn for their mistake and they create a system that work for them.
Yeah,
The
after
Christians that work
slaughtering
for
each
them,
other how many times over and
the
over
Christians that
again.
work for them, black people have been existing for thousands of years, and they continue to become a traitors and sellers. You just watch what the president of Ghana just did. There, you'll be
You mean the
very, very
IMU?
surprised.
You mean the IMF
Hold
loan?
on, no.
No.
He
What
has
did they
people not
do?
to beg. Hold on, he has people not to beg. He has African leaders stop begging. But he
Yes.
was using one hand to collect money.
That's true. That's true.
One man. Is that not a sellout? Is that not a traitor?
Man, African millennial, that's your lead, that's your president. He talks with both sides of his mouth. It's
You
very
know,
confusing.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay, so what does the people do?
Then what happened when he sit with the Secretary of State? He brought Burkina Faso on top of the table and destroyed Burkina Faso there, the Wagers are in Burkina Faso. Why Burkina Faso is close as a neighbor to him? Ghana is far more powerful than Burkina Faso. He would have just called Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, what is the security of your situation? But he sit there, assault Burkina Faso. Immediately did that. Yeah, I have something to talk. Even some Ghana representative was even not comfortable with what he was saying. They were turning their eyes to one corner.
No, I agree. That was
You know what I'm
wrong.
saying?
That was very wrong.
So who are killing black people? Is it the white people? They're using the black people to kill us? You understand? Look at what happened in America. Who killed all those big activists in America? The same black people they use. The same thing that they use.
Okay. Well, we gather that's what they do to use because they don't have to use somebody that looks like them to get close to the people to kill them. Okay, we understand that part. That doesn't mean the people as a whole. I'm not a traitor.
Are you a traitor? You that is
So
talking.
people,
if I give you 1 million naira to sell to Nigeria, you will do it immediately.
No, I would not. Who are you talking to? No, I would not.
And many Europeans will do the same thing too. See, you have to understand that it's a different. See, the problem is that Africans are not racialized people. That's part of their problem. While Europeans have become racialized a long time ago, and African Americans are more racialized. When Africans talk to each other, or to Europeans, they talk to Europeans as from their tribe or from their country. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't tend to see that.
There you go. The bigger
and that
picture.
is where the problem. That's where their problem is. And the current, this guy Big Dog, he must be following Nigerian policies a bit. The current one of the leading leaders in the campaign now in Nigeria. His foreign policy is based on Afrocentric foreign policy, and if you start having African leaders start understanding that it's the bigger group, you have to see things from the point of the bigger group and the greater good. You start seeing better decisions being made, because what the Ghanaian president did recently is a little bit of a weird one, because everybody was, giving kudos for saying we don't need to be begging, and the next thing he just goes and does it, and this is what African leaders do, and that's why it's very hard to trust them. They will say one thing and do something else.
Is the old Ghana president. What's her name? That tall one, that very dark-skinned guy with red eyes. I forget his name. That guy's very
Rollins.
No, not Gigi Rollins. After Gigi Rollins, the guy came to power.
Kufo.
Is he Kufo? Very tall.
Yeah,
I think he's on wheelchair now. I don't know. He's sitting in a wheelchair. I don't know. It's tall. After Rollins, he just came in. Those are leaders. Those are leaders that cities stand by what is.
Okay, so then what's the solution then?
So what I'm trying to say is, it's a black. Look, even Nigeria President Buhari is a borrow master. He's always borrowing. It's always borrowing. With a lot of debt in that place. There's no difference between
Nigeria. See, to be fair to Nigeria, Nigeria doesn't owe a lot. To be fair to Nigeria, Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio
Nigeria owe a lot. They owe a lot to China.
22 billion. Our total external national debt is about 22 billion.
You talk about black Americans are far more rationalized. Forget it, my brother. Do you know how many black Americans as people in the Senate? What they're able to do for their people? No, they're not doing nothing.
That's true, though. That's true. That's true. African Americans, they don't help their people a lot. And
they're like African leaders also.
They don't even meet African leaders like this African American summit. This summit that they had in in America right now. I would have thought the Black Caucus and all the black politicians in America would be right there. And in the middle of it, making sure things are done properly.
Yeah, Kwesi, you can go ahead. Did you have anything to add? Are you serious? Okay.
Kwesi has been quiet quite a lot. He shows up on panels and he doesn't say anything.
Oh, yeah.
No, to that, why I'm saying it is this. It's not about. This is just generally black problem. You know, we try to we talk a lot, we exaggerate a lot, but we have little to show for anything we do for this so-called modern black leaders. If you check, African leaders are corrupt. They just by themselves. If you go down to the United States, one of the black leaders there, they just they dare to live in a powerful house and a powerful health insurance. They don't do nothing for black Americans, for their real people. You understand me? What have they really done to lift the black Americans up in the United States? Nothing. Check
But
what
the
this
people have to hold them accountable. It's simple.
what these
The
Latinos
people hold you accountable.
check what these Latinos are doing now. You just check. Those are not with dark skin. Check what the Latinos are doing. They just coming. Check what they're doing. They only know about their people. So these black people, these so-called leaders who are there to live on the powerful houses, whether they are senators or they are head of state or they are mayors, wherever they see themselves, they just sell out.
I understand that, but what's the workaround? You can't just sit up and talk back and forth about what the leader's doing. Who cares about that? What the people doing? What's the solutions to the problem? Yeah, we understand that a leader get in position and they see that they can take advantage and they do that for them and their family. So then I mean the people have to take their power back. You can't sit around and just wait for the leader to make decisions for your life or your environment. The
there
people
are
have
some
to say enough is enough.
Yeah, there are some countries where they are doing that. I would say Mali, Guinea, maybe Burkina Faso too. But the majority of the African population or whatever, the populace do not know this stuff. They don't know that.
But then, okay, the education system. That's what I'm saying. Those who know should teach. Teach the youth. You spread the word. The community have to make the change. You can't keep saying what a leader is doing. What the leader is doing. Shit, right here in the United States, you think they give a damn about what they doing to us here? They don't care. They doing what they do. And guess what happens? If they have a military and they feel like, okay, we put a lot of money on military, we can go and go fight whomever. Those military people are like, what do you call it? Like robots. They think that, oh, I'm fighting for my country. No, you're playing a game. You're a pawn. You have to make a decision. If you're going to fight for the people or you're going to be just another, someone just sitting on the sideline talking. What do you do?
Yeah.
Each individual. What do you do? What do you come up with a plan to figure out in the community how y'all move amongst each other? Meaning that from one country to the next country, doing business with each other.
You know what?
Nobody.
See, Shay, I think countries that are most united in Africa are the Niger-Congo group, like from Senegal to South Africa. We don't have to necessarily go with the Horn Africans immediately. We don't have to go with the North Africans. But those groups can come together and start making moves. And as a matter of fact, the ones that did recently,
I'm not feeling South Africa. You can't have a country where mostly white people is controlling everything. That sounds crazy.
No, that's true. But their leader is very, very skeptical of the West. That's why they wanted to remove him from office.
Y'all keep talking about leaders. Y'all keep talking about leaders. Like y'all don't have God. You don't have a God that governs over you. You talking about leaders, other human beings.
Where you from? Where you from? Where you from? Spirit don't rule a country. I understand where you from.
Exactly. You have to have people. You have to have people that go out and make this thing, meet people and make decisions on behalf of the continent. And I think if those groups exert themselves and work with the greater diaspora too, like the African Americans, the CARICOM and all the rest, they are not coordinating. They are not coordinating. And they are not coordinating. The African Americans have to be involved. One of the Arikana criticized about this trip or this summit was that they went there when the Congress was not even in session or the Senate was not in session. Why are the African Americans not present in such a massive decision? You know what Harris did?
Because they've been brainwashed. What you mean? Why they're not? What are you talking about?
But look at what Harris did, man. Harris tried to use it.
Wait a minute. Let me say something. You have to understand there has been a great misjustice that has happened in Africa and here in the United States to all the diasporas. People are in a damn trance. You understand that? There is almost at the same time it's a self-hate. They play with the religion and make you feel some kind of way about yourself subconsciously. and then how you do business. Now you got, they bring the African leaders here to the United States to then, with no agenda, then saying they're going to give them $55 billion in reparations. Anytime any country offer you money, you best be sure they got way more than that to give you. That little $55 billion is nothing that United States is offering for reparations for slavery. But had they offered anything to all the slaveries and all the people who were killed and mutilated here in the United States, you understand? There's no, they beat the whole idea of no unity here. They have beat that into us here in the United States. You understand me? It's so deep that you couldn't probably understand.
But
and the fact that they take the African American man, they put these systems in place to make sure they're not even in the household to even raise their children properly. So now
Yeah, but it's hard to believe you are here now. You are here, so it's hard to believe that all those people I see, so all those top African Americans, they are there. They are very much there. Some of them are even very outspoken. But during these meetings, they are nowhere to be seen.
They're brainwashed to believe that the successful African American here in the United States, they're living the dream of what the white person has taught them to be. They don't even have their own identity. You went through the universities, you got your degrees, and now you're so proud to be this token black person here in the United States. You understand? I was just talking to a man yesterday, was telling me how he black. He telling me he conservative, and he rather talk to white people than black people. So what does that tell you?
Oh my God.
Yeah, that is sad. That is really sad.
That you deal with that on different levels all the time. If the beginning, people don't want to deal with it, but when you go back through history and you look, that's all you have to do. Go back through history, here or there. You go back through history, over 400 years, you then beat into a people that they're not worthy. And you give them Christianity at the same time. You're not worthy of being here. We can do we do whatever we want to you at any given time. And who gonna say something?
Yeah.
You understand? And then you get the idea, when I came to visit Africa, I'm like, oh man, to see how much garbage has been pushed over from United States or the West to there. I can see that they're putting their hands in. I can see it. When I go to a Hilton hotel and the GDP, the people there cannot afford to spend $100 US dollars a night at a hotel. One of the hotels was like $450 a night. But the local people, they wouldn't be able to go to that hotel. So then that tells you what the leaders is doing. Ain't no way that they only making $150 a month when that should be what should be paid a day. You understand me? So when you come to, you think, oh, I'm getting away from America, I'm gonna see my people, I'm gonna go to Africa, and then you see how they being treated and how they accepting how to be treated. They, walking around with their heads, not necessarily heads down, but they don't see what's in front of them.
Does anyone?
That totally
I have a question.
explain it?
Wait, 1 second. I have a question.
ahead.
Does anyone on the panel know why the African leaders went to the U.S. to get the $1 billion loan? The $1 billion
That shouldn't be
loan?
that was supposed to be a given to them. There ain't no loan.
Oh, okay. Why did the U.S. give them that money?
Because they want them resources. They want the whatever's in the ground. That's why. Because they're competing with China and Europe and Russia. That's just
it's mostly about keeping Africa in their column, so that African countries don't start changing away from dollars, because some of them are already moving away from dollars. And if African leaders, given what they did, that meeting was a slap in the face of Africans. And if African leaders can't recognize a slap when they receive one, then they will never wake up.
But you see all the leaders smiling and so excited to be there. And what happens is here in America, they laugh at that. They laugh at, look at these Africans from Africa so happy to be here, and look at America don't even have an agenda of what they actually going to do, but see if they know, just throw some money at it. They'll take it. They'll go for whatever we're going to give them.
Yeah. And that amount is nothing really. They can print the money anyhow they see fit. The UK alone, in 1 year spent 300, which is equivalent to around $500 billion in 1 year for COVID-19, and this government wants to give 54 African countries or 53 African countries $55 billion over 3 years. Spread it around for over 3 years. It means one country doesn't even get up to 1 billion. It's like, it's just petty and rubbish stuff. And Africans can even raise that money by themselves just by taking tax from their people to do stuff.
Yeah.
They don't need these Americans. I don't know why our leaders they need to stop this, because it's clear we don't need any of them at all.
Because because they want to be something that they're not. Everything, like you're telling you, is deep on when you always making it seem like Caucasian people are the saviors, or some other outside entity is the savior of your country. Crazy. But I gotta go. It was good talking to y'all.
No, it was really interesting talking to you. Thanks. It was an interesting perspective from an American, from America. They're like a completely different side. Anyways, did anyone else have anything to add on the panel?
Yeah, let me just add this one. See, based on the numbers, that amount they want to give to Africans, it just shows you that we don't even need that. It's like the amount is so little. If you spread it around African countries evenly, it's so little that African countries can raise it themselves just by telling their people, you know what, every month put this money aside for the country. You can raise more than that amount.
I thought it was 55. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I really did think it was 55 per one country, like divided by the number of countries.
No. It's 55
Wait, so you're
divided
telling
by,
me the whole continent only got
yes.
55 billion?
Yes, and
over
3 years.
years?
Yes. So it's
Oh.
actually per year is about 15 billion, 15, 16 billion per year over the for 50 something countries.
That's a disgrace for real. I
It's
didn't know
just
it was that
millions.
bad.
It's just millions. Yeah, it's just
See,
millions. Pittance.
this is look, Africa is I don't know, it's a dumping ground for Europe and American countries. They sit down in their comfortable zone and call African head of state, and everybody pick their bags, pick their cash money, spend their whole allowance, take their whole country money, and take a flight to every European countries that call an African summit. Turkey did the same thing. Russia did the same thing. China did the same thing. America is doing the same thing. African leaders never learn. They never. You guys think you guys have a leader. We don't. These leaders that we have in power, they are all puppet. You know, when we sit down and say, oh, this country is doing better, this one is doing better. But yeah, they come around, they sit in your comfort zone in US and remote control your leaders. And oh, my leader is doing this, my leader is doing, he's not. Yeah. When they call them, they go. In Africa, I've never seen leaders like this sit down together and discuss issues. It doesn't happen. You only see them when European call them or American call them. Then you see everyone. My president Paul Biya, I've never seen him in any African Union meeting. He always send representative. But when American countries call, you see he goes. And this is what is happening to all African countries. And then we come, oh man, come on, man. We never gonna learn, bro. The money that was meant to be given, why are we taking things? We take things from these people, and then we act like, oh, we don't depend on them. Come on, man. How can somebody be feeding you, and then the same time you say you are independent? It makes no sense. They feed you, they give you what you need. Then you want to go stand around and tell people, oh, I'm independent. I run my own country. I have these things that is going on. I'm doing this. Hell no, you don't want nothing in your country. Because once they give you something, they take it more than what they are giving you.
Could African countries be doing similar things that the Asians, like the Indians, did? Because the Indians, they were getting aid from America and even the UK until just how many years ago. And I was in the UK here when a lot of people were debating it, and they were complaining that why are we giving India? India has a space program. We are giving them money every year. So you see,
you are talking about Asia.
Hold on. Let me just land this point quickly. I will land this point quickly. Exactly. You said they have moved on. The question is not about whether you even take money from them. The question is, what are you doing while all that is happening? You have
this is the thing.
Increasing your strength as a nation strategically, because the Indians, while they were taking money from the West, They were busy building nuclear weapons and going to space while
No,
we're still
but this
taking money from the West.
we are not even talking about only Indian. Talk about countries like Malaysia, Middle East. Qatar just hosts a World Cup. When did Qatar gain independence? It's not even up to 30 years to 40 years when Qatar gained independence. They are hosting a World Cup. These are people that don't have no military might.
They do
Middle Eastern
actually,
countries,
compared to us, they do. They
Southeastern
actually do.
countries, Malaysia. They don't have no. Come on to Nigeria. See, when I come here to debate or talk, I don't just talk. I want to make sure that the things that are happening is that Africa, if we don't take our lessons, things are always gonna be the same. Have you realized that when these people give you money, they don't care how you use it? So it tells you that if your country embezzle the money, it's not their problem. It's not. It
Actually,
doesn't concern them.
actually, they do
It's
care
not.
how you use it. They do care how you use it because what they do is
No.
they use their
Come on,
companies to
Naija.
render the services. No, you have to understand most of that money that they are promising to us is not even going to end up in African government accounts.
That's what I'm
It's
telling
going
you.
to
They
end up
don't
in
care how
Western
you use it.
accounts.
Exactly. That was my point. If a president embezzles that money and put it in Swiss, what will America do to that person? That's what I'm
No,
saying. So they
no,
don't care how you
I
use
think
it.
you are mistaking what I'm saying. What I'm also saying is that apart from the money that they put in the hands of the presidents, most of it actually goes to American companies and European companies because sometimes it's tied to projects, and those projects are given to because most of this money is meant for transitioning from this in old sources of energy to newer sources of energy, which
To
means
Nigeria.
which companies offer these services? They are European and American companies.
Come on to Nigeria. Why they didn't call those companies? Why did they have to call your head of state? Come on, see, man. You guys
No,
sit
because
down
that
and
is the
make
game
plans.
they play. That is the game. That's how they do
But
it.
when will you guys learn? When will you guys learn, man? Come on.
That's
How
what I'm
many years?
saying. That's what I'm saying now. That our leaders, it doesn't matter what they are doing with the West, it's doing with their own people in their country. Because I just gave you an example of the Indians. The Indians, Americans were treating them like, oh, you are just a backwater country. We can be giving money. What they were taking the money and building a powerful nation out of it. They were taking money when they were sending rockets to space. They were still taking money from Americans. Can you imagine that? So
But
Indians
yeah, but
played them a very smart game.
my problem is not India. My problem when I talk of Southeast, I'm not looking at India. India is a superpower. If we are talking about India, I'm looking about countries like Malaysia,
I'm
Singapore.
saying we should learn
I will
from
never
that.
see hold on. I've not seen European countries, America, sit down and call Southeast countries president and summon them to United States for a talk. It doesn't happen. They know their limit. America will never sit and call Latin American countries, Mexico, Argentina, and everyone is picking their backs to come over. Come on, man. Come on. It's disgusting and disrespectful. It tells you that your own people doesn't know what is actually going on in your continent. It tells you that you guys are low key. I mean, bro,
These
Africa
are,
will never
these are
change. It's just a
Africa
fact.
leaders. Africa
Even if
leaders
you
are
look at
not
Malaysia,
interested.
yeah, go
These are
ahead.
what Africa leaders look. Africa leaders, they like to travel, because they don't have any plans, they don't do nothing in their country. They're just there to drink wine, Hennessy, and all those things. Laugh around, serve them. The chefs give them big goat meat and all those things. They don't have no plans in their head. They're not busy with nothing. So when they call them, they will just run and pocket allowance times 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 1 million times travel allowance. They just pocket it. They fly that private jet. They just say they're going. When they get it, they're very happy. They have nothing to contribute. They don't have their own opinion. They don't have nothing. They are like donkeys. They are like dummies in some. So that's why I say these people. They're just black hat kind of people. They are not. These are not leaders. These are like house boys to the rest of the world. You understand? Who just
But
call them? They
big
just go
dog,
over
can I
there.
ask you though? Do you think you can do a better job than the African leaders now?
No, it's not. But look, we first of all they have to search their soul
But I'm
first,
asking
because
you now because it's easy to criticize sometimes.
what
But do
I
you
mean,
think you yourself, if they put you in that position, would you be able to do a better job?
if I come as a leader, I'll be put in that position to be a leader. First of all, you have to serve. You cannot do everything, but if you can provide a sound healthcare, a sound educational system, that will build the foundation right? And top to bottom, wipe away corruption. You say, corruption come with chaos.
Oh, the question is,
And chaos come
do
with.
you believe you will do a better job?
I think the way I've paid, I think I'll do more better job than these people.
Okay. And Jude, do you think you can do a better job than the current African leaders?
Bro, everyone always say they will do a better job than the current African leaders till they get into the system and the system change them. But this is the thing, because there's what they call systematic change. If you cannot, Africa will never change till the system that is governing us has to be cleaned out. When I mean clean out, you see what happened in Liberia when this young guy came in power, Josh Weah. He thought he was gonna change Liberia in his first tenure, which is I think 7 years for their presidency. But 7 years, Liberia has not moved from an inch when he took over from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. We don't have a roadmap on what we are working on. We are never gonna see ourselves when we are going to be a first world country. It's not even a dream of African becoming a first world. They don't see themselves. The system that is governing Africa is European based. They have given you a system that does not work for your people. All what you have to do is take it and change it and clean it out. Clean this movement, clean these people. You can come up with a dictatorial regime that can change people. They are lost. Look, back in the days when China wanted to build China, they sat down and say, what are the impediments? What will stop us from developing? They identify a lot of problems, a lot of roadblocks. They identify theft, they identify corruption, they identify a lot of issues. And what did they do? They came up with things that we force people not to do the things that we stop or stop their growth. Take for instance, drug trafficking in China is death sentence, or in some places you could even get a life sentence. Corruption is even prohibited. These are the kind of things that African countries, if they are smart, these things will make people be scared and develop their continent.
Okay.
You have
Now,
a single
now,
person embezzling so much money.
let me ask you now. I think you are right when you say the Chinese basically put themselves first. When they started making decisions, they made very, very tough decisions that led to a lot of things. And it leads me to this question. If you were put as a leader now, because I feel like sometimes when we are talking about these things, we criticize leaders a lot, but we don't necessarily try to put ourselves in their shoes so that we can criticize them in a more precise manner. Like
There's no
if you're
truth to Nigeria.
okay, hold on now. If they put you in a leadership position now and they said you can solve the problem like the Chinese implemented, we know a lot of people paid with their lives for what the Chinese did, and it's going to lead to 50,000 deaths in your country. If you think that's going to solve the entire problem of your country, would you do that? Would you knowingly go into it and cause the death of 50,000 people? Would you do that?
What you mean cause the death?
Yeah,
Nowadays,
that needs
people
to
are not dying
happen
in.
ASAP.
Come on. Did you know what JJ
No,
Rollins did before
answer
Ghana
it in a
became
more straightforward way. No, I just need you to answer it clearly so that I know where your position is.
to
Would you
Nigeria?
go
To
ahead
Nigeria?
and make a decision that results in 50,000 people dying? Would you do that
To
as a leader?
Nigeria?
Of course.
Okay. Africa
Africa,
meaning itself first.
she's answering her own, but what I'm saying,
I
Judy,
just told you. I told you that I will do the same thing to Nigeria. I will do it.
okay, you would do it.
I will do
Okay,
it.
then Big
Even
Dog, what
even
would you do?
clean.
No, hold on. Sorry, let me just ask Big Dog what he would do.
Okay, look, so that you're asking these questions. If you come to power, you have forget how you grab money to be buy houses. African leaders are there to buy houses in overseas.
No,
That
but the
what they're there.
question is, if you were in office, Big Dog, you were the one in office, and you have to make a decision that is going to cost 50,000 lives, would you make that decision?
You don't need to make a decision that will cost 50,000 lives. You jail them. You come with the sound-minded people.
No, the
If
50,000
you
lives.
cannot do it,
Hold on,
if you cannot do
you're
it,
not getting my
hold on,
question.
hold
You're
on,
not getting
hold
my
on.
question.
If you
It's not
cannot do it,
50,000 lives. It could
if
be
you cannot do
50,000
it,
innocent even.
declare martial law. Declare
You're not
martial
hearing me.
law.
You see the
I come
problem.
with the military. I come with the military. That's what Nigeria lacks
You
nowadays.
can't do that. You can't see this thing that we do, where we like to be self-righteous, but we don't know what leadership is. I asked you a straight question. If you feel that this is the problem of the country is going to be solved people are not going to be dying of malaria every month and resulting in almost 200 every year, and poverty deaths and corruption deaths. If you make the decision, it's going to cost 50,000 lives, but it's going to solve all those problems. Would you make that decision?
You asking something. If I make decision that why should I make decision that will take that will, no, you don't take you don't make decision that will affect
then you
people.
are not
What
even
you do,
qualified.
when you hold on.
African
When you
leaders.
do what you do is this: you try those that are corrupt already there, right? All the way
Because
to
they are,
the
see, you
to
think it's
local
always that
government. You
easy. It's
try
not always
them,
that easy because
and
they
if you
too are
cannot
just
do
like
it,
you. They
if
are
you
they are
cannot do
dodging hard decisions.
if you
That's why
cannot
they
do
are
it,
all
you
hiding.
declare martial law. You bring in the army. You before you start doing
How many
everything.
difficult
Hold on.
decisions do you think African leaders
Hold
are
on,
making?
before
They
you
are not
start
making
doing,
difficult decisions because they are
you sit to the
cowards.
army
They
and
are afraid of
you
making
sit,
difficult decisions, just like you are afraid of making difficult decisions
Wait,
now because you want it to
no,
be easy.
wait,
wait,
no,
so that you come with
that's
the
not
army.
fair. You can't say that they're not making difficult decisions. That's not fair.
What
Yeah, you
no?
come with the
What
army. You
difficult
come
decisions
with
are
the
African
police.
leaders making?
I make,
All the decisions you make is let me carry on being a traitor to my people. Is that all? Is that
make
not the
sure
only
you
decision we
step
have to
down.
make?
If you cannot do anything, make sure you step down and you announce to the country, this is your plan. You cannot carry it because they're disturbing you, and you think the system is corrupt, and you want to have if say, I give the government back to the people. You will see that these people they will throw them out. The mass people will throw them out. You call the head of the army. You call this if you know the head of the army is corrupt, you sack him. If you know the head of police, you sack. Bring people that
But
will
you are
have the
not. You are.
mind.
You see. You are
You start,
dodging the
and if you
entire
cannot do it,
question.
you declare martial law. You declare martial law. Then you bring in security. Then you start picking these people one by one, and jail them 100 years. Jail them 200 years.
Big dog. You
You,
have
you
to
give them
really
heart
be.
attack inside the jail
You
there.
have to really be straight about the question because you have to think clearly as a leader. And believe you me, there's a lot of
Are you
questions that
happy
will come
with these
your way.
leaders? Are you happy with these leaders you see now that
I'm
all of them
asking you a question now, but you are worse now. You are not even making a straight giving a straight
the
answer.
Malawi, the Botswana. Check what the
Why are
Botswana
you
did.
talking
The
about
Botswana
Botswana?
come
I asked you
chaos.
a totally different question.
Right?
I
No,
asked you, can
Botswana
you
is the
make the
closest
hard
one now that is
decision?
a little bit less corrupt. Check what Botswana did.
I asked you a straight
Botswana
question.
brought
You're not
inclusive
answering.
system. Botswana brought a inclusive system that involved both the traditional rulers
Say whatever you like about African millennial,
that include
but
both
my
the
head is
traditional
clear on
the
this
rulers
one.
and
But you
everybody.
see, you are waffling. You see your problem. This is kind of waffling we hear. African millennial answer the question within 5 seconds, and that scares me because that sounds like somebody that you don't want to be in a heavy position. But
No,
and
you jail these people. You
you
jail them.
they answer the question too. But you're not talking about jailing. That you are trying to make it easy on yourself.
No,
Your
you
problem
jail
is that
them.
you don't understand that leaders
You
have to
create a
make
special
very,
jail.
very tough
You
decisions
jail them.
sometimes.
You create a special jail. When Idiagbon came to power, he jailed people for 100 years. He jailed them. He
But that is
jailed a lot
not
of them.
jailing. What did he achieve?
He achieved a lot. He
I'm
achieved a
asking
lot.
you,
War against discipline
see,
came
big
up.
dog, you are dodging the question. If this was WAEC, you are going to get zero because you're not answering the actual question. The question is, if you are a leader, you need to do something to solve the entire problem of the country, but it's going to
I can
cost
do it.
50,000 lives. Would you do it?
I can do it. I don't know if you can hear me.
No,
Can y'all hear me?
I'm sure. Now you're a quality. You are quite a high level thinking person, so I'm sure you will do it
How can you
because you
what
understand that. But
where
your
the hell you
problem is
talking
that
about high level quality thinker? What the hell you talking about?
because what you don't understand is that by not doing that, you are actually killing more people. That's what you don't understand. Cowards are the ones that have been running Africa and killing more people every day because they
You
don't make the
jail
hard
them.
call.
You create a special
Oh,
jail.
forget it.
You jail them there. Don't you know the jail Mandela? They jail him for 27 years.
See,
These corrupt leaders, they all will be. You said them for 500 years. They will be eating bread and water. Morning, afternoon,
big
evening.
dog. So on this question, you like so last is scary that you don't even understand that you are not making the right part. And the truth is, many Nigerians are like this. They like to be self-righteous all the time. They don't necessarily like to make the hard calls because this is what our leaders are doing. They think that by avoiding difficult decisions, they are making themselves look better, but in reality, they are killing more people. They are leaving their people to suffer and die because they are afraid of making the hard calls. And our population needs to be ready to make the hard call. Stalin made a hard call, and his country is one of the most powerful countries in the world today. The chairman Mao made a hard
So
call.
why can Africa not make the hard call?
Yeah,
Two
we can hear
Nigeria,
you.
Because they are
two Nigeria.
cowards. Can you hear what Big Dog is saying? He wants it to be easy. That is the point. They want it
What
to.
you
They
mean?
want to be able to sleep at night. Sleeping at night means that don't make it such a hard call. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But when these people are elected, they are coming in to do the job. If they are not doing the job, why are they going?
Okay.
Yeah,
Because they
go
are
ahead.
like everyone else.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
let him go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. Y'all situation is not really that difficult to fix. It's really not that difficult. The only three things you really need to do necessarily is find a buyer for your goods. How many buyers? First question is who's gonna be the buyer for your goods. You can either you can use that to pin one country against another country versus another country. So that's the first part of the equation. The second part is necessarily you need to have some level of protection for your people necessarily. So you do need an army. So that means you're probably gonna need some gunsmiths and some army people necessarily with actual skills and ability to actually do that. You can come to America. If their leaders so really wanted to actually be fucking free, they could have been free down probably like 100 years from now, 100 years ago. God honestly, bro. Because you got African Americans that went already up to fucking Ethiopia and helped out in their war effort and all over the goddamn planet. They could have got, was it a regiment of, I don't know, 25, let's say, not even really 25. All you really need is probably like 100 and 200 necessarily people from the U.S. with military experience and background to show you what tactics.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? What you talking about? Black Americans went to Ethiopia. Who is telling you for these fake stories, though?
Bro, it's not stories. Okay, first off, I'm not. Let me finish, bro. I'm not finished. Hey, Big Dog, I'm not finished. I did not.
Ethiopians are fighters,
bro. I don't think you don't know. You have a small glimpse of history, bro. So all right.
Man, you stay quiet, bro. Stop. You guys didn't do shit for Africa, bro. Stay quiet and focus on African Americans in America.
What are you talking about? Come on. That's not fair. That's not fair.
Mr. Gambia, bro, calm down, bro. Ain't nobody say nothing to you, bro. All right, simply, you get enough people necessarily who have the military tactics that you need to help you get you to the point that you need to be. Third, and that's just said, once you got your buyer, you got some people to come in and give you some tactical training. Now, all you need to do is get your people in line necessarily to protect your economy and protect your goods being shipped out. It's really not that hard, bro. It's really not that hard.
Who the hell are
you?
But the Where you from? Where you from, bro? Where you from?
Big Dog, you need to listen
I'm
to this guy.
I'm from the place that's robbing the fuck out you, so I know what I'm talking about.
Where you from? Where you from? You're talking about you going to help Ethiopia and all this nonsense coming out of you. Do you know what Ethiopia? Ethiopia been fighting war for a long time.
Kidola, this guy is a gay guy that left America. He went to Uganda. He's a gay lesbian guy that left Uganda.
What is wrong with you?
What is wrong with these guys? Come on. No. That's going too far, man.
Look at Big Dog that cannot even make a tough decision. Look at Big Dog that cannot even make a tough decision. He's having a go at somebody. And Jude that complains all the time is having a go at somebody.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Who the fuck is
that? Can you just stop? Come on, Big Dog, stop it. You don't know some of the things African Americans have done.
America actually be somebody, bro.
This guy will talk forever. I know this guy personally. He will talk forever.
But he makes sense. I would rather listen to him than listen to you whining constantly. I would rather listen to him than listen to you complaining.
Hey, bro. I'm not in the U.S. whining about my.
Well, nobody know where you are, man. Get the fuck. Shut up about that, man. Talk about helping Ethiopia.
I'm giving you no, bro. I'm giving you honest.
Why is Big Dog concerned about Ethiopia? You are Nigerian. What's your problem with that? He's telling you their own history, and you are here talking. Do you see Nigerians looking to go and fight for Ethiopia?
Bro, how does their history concern Africa? How does their history concern?
Because they are African. You got too much be mad, bro. Like, bro, hey, bro. At the end of the day,
they are Africans too. What's wrong with you?
Man, your care boyfriend. Your care boyfriend is waiting for you, man. Stop talking that shit out.
Don't get mad, bro. Like,
Kenya
I'm not
boyfriend
mad
did
at
it for
I
you,
don't
dog.
care, bro. I really don't care. I'm telling you necessarily these are the steps and things you want to
Oh,
do.
it's for
Like,
beans.
like
It's
the
for beans. It's for
economical
beans,
hitman
dog.
that come over there every 5 to 10 years to cripple your economy again and
Man,
again.
get the
I'm
fuck out of this
telling you,
place with your Kenyan boyfriend,
bro.
man. Motherfucker, what you saying about,
I
man? Get the fuck out of
understand
here.
at the end of the day necessarily,
Let
bro.
both of you go
Like
have some good
you
time in
upset
the
about
beach
whatever
in
you need to
Kenya,
be
man. What
upset
you
about.
doing here, motherfucker?
But the reality is, bro, that is the step that you need to do if you want to have a functioning economy.
So it said the Zulu FBA.
So that necessarily you can have
Come on, big dog.
have a
Let the
good
guy
standard
talk.
of
Let
living.
him talk.
Bro, all you have to do is simple, bro. China
Hey,
has
Kidola, they say he was in Kenya in Mombasa Beach driving on the wrong side of the
Why
road.
you so bro, like
They say he was
you wanna
driving
come
he
over
was
here
driving on the wrong side of the road in Kenya. He
and
thought he was in
you see
United
why I
States.
come over here and I
You they let him
Juliet, that's
talk.
not. Juliet, the guy
Are
speaks.
you
He's
guys
not Julian.
autistic or something? Come on, let him.
Jeez. He's
Kidola,
not
you know Kenyans
Julian.
drive.
Don't worry
You
You
they
know
about
okay?
it.
Kenyans drive.
We are going to have a
Kidola,
problem
you
now.
know
Let him
Kenyans
talk.
drive.
in America,
Kidola, you know Kenyans drive on the left
Alpha
hand side.
Millionaire, mute
that money
Jide,
back
please.
home
Mute
to your
Jide.
parents,
He's
bro.
being very
So they can have
disruptive now.
a
Let one
calm
person
fuck down,
finish.
bro. Like listen,
Jesus
like
Christ,
I
let
said,
one person finish.
To
it's not
Niger,
that
you know he speaks for so long without ending it. You know that.
bro,
Because
you
you are
interrupted me
interrupting
the moment I
him. Let him
started
talk.
speaking, bro. You started interrupting me the moment I started speaking. I didn't interrupt any of y'all. I asked, can I speak? I spoke necessarily. I gave you information. All you
Exactly.
said was fuck you. Something about Ethiopia, like we don't got facts, bro. Like we have historical records of what my people did, bro.
And he's not even
South
insulting you.
Africa
You have
helped out in
insulted
South
him on so
Africa
many
in
levels.
1960.
Sorry. Just make your point. Make your point. Forget about it. Just make your point.
All I said was simple. You need to find a buyer for your goods. China necessarily will be a great buyer for your goods, or put one European nation against another European nation to have a financial dominance on the rest of them. It's not that hard. Once you get enough people that's actually going to flip side, who got Chinese people are not going to come to your country and teach you military tactics to defend yourself. They have no invested interest in doing that, bro. Europeans are not going to fucking do that, bro. The only people that's actually have a mindset to help you would be Black Americans, bro, because they have the ability, they have the tactics.
What is wrong with you all? Are you both stupid?
Tuna,
It's
just
his
stop
own
it, man.
opinion. Can you
This is
stop
not
it?
safe
It's his
for
own
Uwu.
opinion. He is saying it.
Tuna, this is
Is it
not
not
safe
a
for
fact?
Uwu channel.
Are you
This is
trying to
not safe
say?
for Uwu channel.
That the Chinese are more likely to help you than African Americans? Is that your argument that Chinese are
Tuna,
more
this
likely
is
to
not
help you
safe.
than
This is not
African
safe for
Americans?
Uwu channel.
Jesus Christ!
Bro,
What is wrong with two
this
of
is why
you?
I didn't sit there and
This
just laugh
guy is
at y'all,
going
bro.
to talk forever.
Bro,
I gave my
information.
he has made his
Now
point
you're
and you
laughing.
started laughing.
All right.
Said,
Wait.
as if he
No,
said something that
Tunaja,
was
one sec.
rubbish.
What?
He's making a
Tunaja,
coherent point and people are laughing.
Tunaja, one second. So we're gonna go in order then, because I actually want to hear what everyone's saying. So yeah, let's go and order the screen. Tunaja, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I think Kasha is quite correct to have his opinion on that. When he said that the African American have more interest in helping Africans actually because they are from there too. They have a lineage there to the continent, and we know this world operates on a racial level. That's why Indians do better than Africans in almost everywhere they are, and black people are doing worse in wherever they are. Europeans are doing well wherever they are. Why do you think they are doing that? Europeans are helping each other. And when this guy says that African Americans are more likely to help Africans, some Africans are laughing. I don't understand you people. And you say our African leaders are terrible. And I asked you a few questions just now. One out of you failed it woefully, and the other one was waffling all over the place. And even a woman made the decision faster than he could. And yet, these were the ones that complained the most. God help us.
Tuna, just stop. Let me go.
Wait, one second.
That's the backbone of the
Wait,
African
big,
continent right
big
there,
dog,
bro.
big dog. Did you have anything to add? Well, I'll get to you guys. Don't worry. Big dog, did you have anything to add? I just want to
Yes.
make sure everyone says something.
Okay. Tunaja. Let me just tell you the truth. That guy that is speaking, that so-called FBA guy, that Zulu FBA, that guy is not. I can say he's not even. If I have to count Black Americans, this guy will be far to the taller side. You understand me? I'm telling you, that guy is a fake guy. Is a liar. He have somewhere his Kenya boyfriend somewhere hanging around him in the beach saw where it was there. Comment be talking no out of his mouth. I'm not against. Look,
You're
there are
just
some South Black.
insulting me. It's not
Hold
fair.
on. There are some South Black Americans that Africans can deal with. Yeah, I'm in the opinion that if you see a South Black American guy, you can make them your foreign ministers. You understand? You can make them your foreign ministers, and you give them the free hand to work with. You know, African leaders, they don't give no free hand to work with. So what I'm trying to say is this: we can work with everybody who want to work with us, but we have to. African leaders, Africa have to develop their own self and find a way that will suit what they're really looking for. But we're not there yet. These African leaders are just there to buy house in London, buy houses in America, buy house. Imagine Mugabe was buying houses in Hong Kong. You know, in Hong Kong when his people were suffering. Is that a good leader? No. So what I'm trying to say is this: there's a way to channel these people, and if you channel in them good, the most corrupt ones, you jail them 500 years in a jail. While they'll still be eating, they will say how the country is developing. They will slowly die off inside that jail. That's what I'm saying. Because you cannot just be killing people. That is wrong. You have to jail them. You jail, let them see their mistake, and you that is jailing them, you have to make sure that if you cannot run the country, step down. Then let other sound minded come over. You look, people have good interest in their countries. One person cannot just be in power for so long. You know, that's why it become power drunk. It's eating par the yam and jollof fries on top of that table. You know, there's something having other side chicks coming to see him. For this guy that is speaking, this guy that said he does not live in America, whatever. I'm not laughing at you, bro. But the way you sound one kind. I hope your care boyfriend can take good care of you, massage you, and
No. Anyway, Judah,
Why does they keep calling this guy gay? I don't understand it. Where did that come from?
I have to go by the order. I have to let at least everyone speak,
Okay,
but I'll let
okay.
you respond. Judah, did you have anything to add?
Yes, of course.
Your kids can't even
Go
survive
ahead.
more than a fucking month, bro. And I'm literally telling you tactics to help you do that. Laughing at me ain't gonna help none of y'all. Hey, man, I promise you, bro. I promise you on this much. At the end of the day, I'm gonna buy my iPhone. I'm gonna still be all right. The Congo still gonna be fucked up. Nigeria gonna still be fucked up. The Cameroon gonna still be fucked up. And I'm gonna live in my 5-story house and still be fine at the end of the day. The reality of what I'm telling you, if your leaders really wanted y'all to be safe and fine and live in a high standard of living, they could have done that. They could simply reached out, found the people that's willing to flip. You do that in every tactics in every battle on the world. They found people that flip. Even China just found people that flip from the British Army to help them with their plane tactics. These are simple things that you can even look up on the internet. You can look these up. These are publicly known things, right? You find the people that's willing to flip. You give them some land, give them some money. They give you secrets. They give you information. They give you tactics. You take these tactics, you develop them for your area. And then you fight off any kind of it's not that hard, man. If people truly wanted that, and they truly wanted to be free, and they truly gave a damn about the people that's on the ground, these are things that you actually do. They haven't done them. So you can laugh at me as much as you want to. I'm still gonna be comfortable in my warm house and my nice T-printed bag, bro. My T-printed bag. I'm sorry. I'm gonna still be all right. At the end of the day, that's your family that's gonna be over there. That's your people that's gonna be there. That's your tribe gonna be out there dying to death. That's your kids gonna not getting no decent education. It don't hurt me at all. You have to come here to make money. I'm gonna be all right.
Okay, it's funny how these are the people that we
These are
consider.
the people from 5 seconds ago. It was fuck you. I'm stupid as fuck. I'm gay now. I'm telling you how to help improve your place. But these people, bro, you over here making money over here though. That's funny.
It's funny how these are the people that to Niger wants to take lessons from. It's really funny how we have been pushed to the wall, us Africans, that we can hold on to any straw that we see, even if it's a snake.
What did he say that you disagree with instead of just come crying
To
about what
Niger,
somebody said? What did he say that you disagree with?
to Niger, let me finish.
Tell me what you disagree with. What did I say that was wrong?
Exactly. They just blame. You are playing the man,
To
not
Niger,
playing
let me
the idea.
finish. Let me finish.
Tell me what I said was wrong, man.
Yeah, you have talked. He has talked. Let me make my point.
Okay.
I've seen you on so panels. You are forcing yourself with these people, and then you want to come around and blame the African or North Africans for linking themselves with the
Make
with
your
a
point.
Middle Eastern. Yeah, you want to link yourself with African Americans claiming they are from Africa, but you don't have the gut to also allow the North Africans to link themselves with Middle Eastern, believing that most of their people came from over there. That's to
I
tell
have
you
the
how the African. That's to tell you
I'm
how
willing
the
to allow.
African.
I'm fine with
That's
that.
to
I don't
tell.
have any problem with that. So
That's to
make
tell
your
you how the
point.
Africa. That's to tell you how the African mindset is, where you align with things that benefit you. If it doesn't benefit you, you don't align with it. But this is my point, right?
Okay.
It's funny how it is African Americans that is giving us lectures, us Africans, how to run things. These people have never run things in America. We know how things roll in America. These people couldn't even fight for independence. When other countries were fighting for independence, African countries, Black Americans never fought for independence. What they were fighting for was to have equal right with the white man. Back in the days, they used to have what they call segregation. It means the black people have their own side, white people have their own side. They saw how the white people were living. Instead to fight for independence and get their own part of the country, they never did. They wanted to have the same equality like the white man and enjoy the same benefit.
You mean the
If
same
they have,
independence that the South wanted to get, and they defeated them.
let me
You white
finish.
people
If they have
didn't get
got it,
independence. You are expecting black people to get independence from America when they get it.
what are you talking about?
Jesus
Caribbean
Christ.
countries fought for
We don't
Caribbean
have
countries fought for
independence
their
now, man.
independence.
No. The southern
Caribbean
part of
countries fought for
America
independence.
fought for independence, and they were defeated by Abraham Lincoln in
Why they were
America.
defeated? But why did you have to? Independence is not given; it is taken by force. That's why other African
And
countries,
if the white people, if the white
South Africa,
failed,
to Niger,
what
stop asking
chances
me
has the
questions. To Niger,
African Americans got?
to
If the white
Niger,
majority failed, what
to
chances
Niger. When I
have the
finish, you
African
can go ahead and
Americans got?
talk. To Niger, when I finish, you can go ahead
Make
and
a
talk. You have.
coherent police of you attacking the people
I'm not. I'm
unfairly.
not attacking.
Hey man,
I'm not
he
attacking.
everything
Let
he
me
said was
finish.
wrong, but I mean,
Let me finish. It's funny how people that have never gotten independence, they don't know how independence looks like, are the ones that are giving lecture to Africans how to run a government. These people have never run a government. They
Who
don't
is
know
giving
which
a
government
lecture?
is
He's
good
just
or
giving his
they,
opinion.
they don't
Jesus.
let me finish to Niger. They don't know which government is good or bad. They have lived in a system where they look, man, look, these people are not even us. I cannot get up one morning and go and claim Chinese or my parents are in India, and then get on one morning and start giving Indians lectures because I believe my DNA came from all, I have people tied to it. No, hell no, it doesn't work like that. We live in a reality world, not in a world that is based on DNA. We live in a reality where if you are not from Africa, born and bred, you are not African. That's why we have all these European black plane. To Nigeria, you just came from Search for Who. You guys were talking about the same thing, and you were getting lectures from over there. You want to force yourself to people that do not believe or think the way you are. These people are
What?
not us. Just
What
because they
is
look
wrong with
black
you?
doesn't mean they have. Just because they look black doesn't mean they
Oh
have
my God,
history.
this guy, you are crazy. You
No,
don't
I'm
even
not
understand the
crazy. I'm
world you are
telling you that
living in
just
today.
because
You know,
they look
you are
black doesn't mean
crazy.
they
You
have
are
the same
crazy.
history. You know, we should
See,
stop doing all
you
this
are not
and
making
build our
sense. You are not
continent.
making sense.
Okay,
Go and tell
I'm not making
Europeans. You're
sense.
not
No,
making
but
sense. I just
should I let him finish
When
though?
when your
That's his
presidents came
opinion though.
when your presidents came to United States, why did these people not meet you? Because they don't have no they don't know what is going on. They saw
like
them, but
you.
who are they? They knew what was good. They know them, but what do you think they can do? These people have no ties. It doesn't please them. They don't want to get involved. The ones that you see are the ones that have private business that they want to do. The ones that actually know realities. What is Africa gonna give them? Are you kidding me? Well, come on, man. You think an African America is gonna leave everything behind to move? And the ones that are moving are the ones that they cannot even. The ones that are moving to Africa are the ones that have something, that they have faced a lot of problems. They either have things in their record. If you dig deep, I wouldn't tell you that much, but it's okay. Thank you so much. I'm done.
Mike, you're next.
All right, man. What's up, guys? So, hey, I just wanted to talk to the point you guys were making earlier about the African leaders. So basically, it, I've been kind of trying to emphasize this, for a while now. So you guys are talking about the weakness of African leaders and how they just go to all these places and things like that. See, I think we Africans, right time we start to understand that your leader can only go be as strong as the people that they are leading, right? So what do I mean? The backbone of every government is the people. Now, if you look at, I mean, another way, let me put it, the backbone of every government is the productivity of the people. That's the backbone. Now, if you look at country like United States, right, no one can argue that the backbone of the U.S. government is the U.S. corporations and private sectors, such as, can you mute yourself? Who's that? So now, mute yourself. Yeah, thank you. Such as United States, for example, United States looking to producing anything. U.S. government say, let's say they want to produce anything. They have to look. They don't look to another country. Say, okay, we're looking to this company in China or another country or in Russia or Europe. They look into America and look into one corporation in America and ask it to produce it. If U.S. even up to the level of the military, if the U.S. government say they want to produce a weapon right now, they look to Lockheed Martin. It's a Lockheed Martin. It's a company. It's a private company that produce the weapons for United States military. They're going to research and produce his next advanced weapon. If they look to maybe a technology, any kind of technological industry and things like that, they look to Silicon Valley in California. Look to those private companies there, those technological companies there. It's like, okay, what can you produce for the next, to advance the economy technologically? Look to those companies. Now, if you look at African leaders, let's say African leaders now wants to produce something, they think of ideas, something to create. They can't look into any company in Africa, anybody in Africa to say, come, we want you to produce this thing for the nation. So we, the people ourselves, maybe it's high time we start thinking that maybe if we start figuring out to be technological minded people, technological advanced people, maybe instead of us sitting on YouTube just crying about African things and this, maybe me and Itunaja, Jude, we can put money together and go and open a research center in our village and start looking for some gifted minded Africans to start doing research on how to produce things that we consume in Africa, because virtually everything our leaders consume, even us, including our leaders and every one of us, is produced by Chinese or the Europeans. So if your leader want to consume something and they can't look to you and I to produce it for them, they have to look to a Chinese company to produce it or European man to produce that technology. So why would they not be running to these people? So I think we, the population ourselves, we have to get to the point where, because if you look at America, when I read the story of all these Henry Ford, they started the automobile industry, it was not a government official. There was no government that set him up. He figured it out. He started it. I look at the story of Apple. And I look at the story of a lot of these innovators, inventors. There wasn't, even recently, YouTube, Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg. He was in his garage when he figured out to make Facebook. So, and these people, when they produce something, they make their country powerful. They make their government powerful. So their government can look into these industries within, look at what their populations are producing and use it to run the rest of the world. When US banned sanctioned Russia, they took Instagram from Russia, took Facebook from Russia, shut it down. Was it US government that created the Facebook? It was an American citizen. So if you and I, we the population, we begin to like, okay, let's do what our white counterparts and their citizens are doing. We become these productive citizens and start using our brains to produce big things in our own country and for creating industries. We become the people that our leaders will be looking to for advice or for whatever they need to do. But right now, your leaders cannot look to you, to your dusty village and say, hey, tell us what to do, because you are of no use to them. That's why they have to look to all these people, these Europeans. So I'm saying this to trying to tell you guys, like, maybe it's high time we ourselves maybe start looking at our population and say, we as a population, maybe we need to start changing the way we are thinking, because it's almost like we're waiting for some president somewhere to just come on and start producing all the things that they want to consume. But that's not going to happen. To speak to the Zulu FBA guy that said the Black Americans will come and save you guys and things like that. I mean, I don't think I should attack the
Nah,
brother, man. The fact that he has the desire, you know, the
but
fact
Mike,
that
I got two
he no, I'm not dissing you. I'm just trying to, say, like, I mean, the fact that you express the desire to want to do that, I don't think that's, that enough is enough to at least give you some kind of, respect for having desire to that. Okay, this is what you wish, because it tells me that if you were in a position to do it, then you have gone there. You would actually be willing to do it. So I give it as I salute that. But I think what Judah and my dog was trying to say is that they don't think
no, Mike.
they don't
Don't
think the
speak for
Black American society itself
Mike.
is.
Out of all
Yeah.
respect, don't speak for them. Let them speak for themselves. They are grown men. They said what they said. They meant what they meant.
No, I'm not speaking for them. Like I said, I think what they're saying is that
No, I heard what they said. I heard what they said.
they don't. Well, I know
heard
they don't think the African American community itself is technologically advanced to bring some kind of industrial plants to their continent, because that's what we need. So what you're going to bring is the same thing me and Tunaja in the West will bring. Buy from the white man and come and sell to the Africans.
Okay, my question is,
You
how
understand?
many
None of us are productive industrials, right? I mean, we are not productive right now. It's not like we are producing anything. It's not like there's a Black American Silicon Valley somewhere where you guys are producing iPhones and all these things, where we can say, oh, wow, you guys are producing all these things, Chinese man and the white man is producing, and then we can move it to Africa to start doing it there, and then we cannot compete with the Chinese and stuff. But you guys don't have that. So that's why they're kind of looking at you like, what are you talking about? But I don't think they should have came at you that way. They should at least be a little
Exactly.
nicer.
But my point is, see what is happening with the Congo about the coltan stuff. And I saw one video where African Americans are getting mad, but they don't have the resources to even go there and exploit and take that coltan from
Take the
Congo.
cobalt and build the every jet, the things that the white
Right.
man is using the cobalt to build. To build, yeah.
Exactly. So it's basically the same hand to mouth kind of things that we ourselves are doing. Is the same thing that they want to come on, man. Giving lessons to who?
Yo, Tinaja.
To Niger, what's going on, man? This is not search for who channel. Calm down.
Tinaja. Yo, can you mute, please?
Look, Mike is hey, look, all what Mike said is true. What
You need to remove Tunaja, man.
What is going on with this guy? Eat some beef and sausage, man. Rest in Britain, man. What is going on with you? Take some pounds and drink something there. So,
Say drink something.
yeah.
Okay, I'm not taking you off because I don't know what's going on with your mic, man.
Okay, well, Mike was saying that's just the truth. We Africans doesn't have manufacturing power. We don't have innovators and other things. And to this guy, that's FBA, he's talking big, just like doing normal Africans talk big also sometimes, but we're not really doing much. But FBA normally don't associate themselves as Africans, though. So that was surprised to see him jumping in here like a Superman, talking big and everything. Just the way, your leaders are being taken care of by your own people, So your leaders are in the Senate. They never do nothing good for Africans. They don't even do nothing good for you people in America there too. They're just there to stay in the mansion, have a powerful health insurance.
Exactly.
Let me know when y'all done, though. Let me know when y'all done. All right.
They'll be there for 32 years.
Yeah, okay.
Without not doing nothing. They just praise them, just the way they praised Mandela when they came out of the jail, used media to prop him up. And Mandela was like a superstar. Mandela forget what really brought him out. You know what I'm saying? So the West people know how to prop you with the media and call you hero. So your leaders just do it. The African leaders don't even be proper with media. So they just degrade them. But your leaders in the Senate are being called heroes. But without it not doing much. That's why I was surprised you come here and be talking how you do this, how you do that. It doesn't mean you people are some good leaders, that maybe Africans can use, maybe in terms of negotiation, that some kind of deep thinking. But you probably also be fucked up just the way some Africans also be fucked up also. That was the part you're talking about. I don't even know where you are. Are you in Uganda? I don't know what you're doing there. Are you into
Bro, I
kind of
came back to the U.S. months ago, man.
Are you checking the backside of any other things there? What you doing there?
Okay.
I'm trying
Wait,
to fuck
wait,
your
wait a
mama,
second.
bro. I'm trying to go balls deep in your mama right now, man. That's what
Okay,
I'm.
all right. Okay. Amara, did you have anything to add to the Amara, did you have anything to add to the conversation? Can't hear you. Okay. I'll add to Nigeria back then.
Oh no, I got a couple questions I wanted to ask real quick.
My mic, is it all right now?
Yeah.
I don't know where the white noise came from. I think this headphone is beginning to retire. See, I think Mike spoke well from the beginning. I don't know about the later stages when he said the point is the guy meant well. He's trying to, and actually he actually suggests very, very smart solutions. And the question I asked, he actually answered it better than so-called this in African that are like to be self-righteous all the time. Point in the end, we have to get our act together because like I said before, there's a reason why where you see where Europeans are in the world, they even affect the black population that are there because the black population actually do better than the countries where you don't have this in Europeans, like in South Africa now. They affect their population. In Kenya, they affect the way the economy is doing because their people are here. They are all helping each other everywhere. They are all networking. But we are not networking. Every time we come together, we like to insult each other. We spend more time insulting each other. And yet these Europeans even fought each other more than us. Yeah, they still manage to network better than we do. So we have to get past this thing that we do where just because somebody's an American, if they suggest something positive, you don't even give them credit for that. You start insulting them with it. I don't understand the kind of mindset that Jude has. And so for me anyway, that is a no-go area. I know the video that I had in the background in the chat shows what I agree with what what's his name Mike was saying about us doing our own thing, and the people create the leaders that they have. The leaders can only operate with the scope they have amongst their people. If you have the people that cannot see beyond their nose, that cannot even project in time, that are not ready to make sacrifices, then your behavior is going to alter. This is just what it is. You get what you deserve. You don't go out with a woman and say, or a woman comes to the guy and say, you know what, the first day, let's just go to the room and let's just get it over with. The guy will be so happy and like, oh, that's it. The whole thing is done over. But if you, and that woman is not going to regard that woman highly. That is the truth of the situation because they feel like the lady didn't, hold herself up to high regard because after all, the woman is valuable. You can't treat yourself as if you are not valuable. So that's how leaders are with their citizens. You have to make yourself worthy of being served. If you are not worthy of being served, you can't even think straight. Why would the leader serve you? They will go and serve other people. And this is what our leaders are doing. And when I ask these questions, it's forcing like people like Jude and people like Big Boy or Big Dog to think about how leaders think, because it's easy to criticize. It's not easy to go and sit in the chair, And it's very interesting that African millennial was able to answer that question without even thinking. There are very few people that will have asked this question that don't think to, except African millennials had me ask the question before. So that is that anyway. But please play that video because it was very interesting because that young man was trying to innovate in Nigeria. You saw what this thing happened. What happened in that video? Go ahead. Who was that? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mari there.
Yeah, can you play that Twitter video, please? It'd be nice. It'd be nice to watch because it was quite funny. The guy was basically trying to fly something, and all hell broke loose in the air there and brought the aircraft down. So it's basically a kind of analogy for what Africans face. The environment is hostile for
Yeah,
us.
give me like 2 minutes to play the video.
Okay, no problem. Amara, long time. Amara is muted or something. No.
To Niger, when you come on panels, man, don't think only your opinion can count on certain things in Africa. You have to allow a diverse opinion. And the way you are taking, if they give you the continent to run, I'm pretty sure you're probably gonna bring all African Americans, tell them to come over and just
Bro,
flood
why
the
you
whole
got
thing.
you got I got them.
Why do you have
Where do
problem with African Americans?
where got I got them dick in your mouth, bro? I ain't even said nothing to you yet. You still got I dick in your mouth, man.
The Ugandan president said recently, just last week, that Africa is 12 times the size of India, but yet have the same population as India. So why are you so worried about 50 million African Americans? Africa is underpopulated right now. Maybe if we had our maximum strength, we wouldn't be in this situation that we are in. So I don't. That's my issue. It's not because I don't want you to share your opinion. And besides, you were not sharing your opinion. You are attacking people. You are attacking them. That was not an opinion. If you start talking, if I start giving my opinion and start attacking you, you will not like it.
Bro, he can't even keep his kids alive long enough to do nothing, bro. In the Cameroon, they can't even keep their kids alive long enough to be nobody. So I'm not upset, bro. I understand why you're mad at me, bro. But the reality is, out of what I said, attack my you get mad at me, you can attack me personally all day. At the end of the day, I still live in a nice house. I'm still in a warm, comfortable house. I'm fine. Personally, me, right?
Mike,
At the end of the day, bro, I'm talking. We talking like literally man stuff. Like how you gonna get yourself into the better position so that your kids and your family and your tribe can do better. So out of what are my points that I gave you necessarily, which one of them were incorrect or wrong?
Mike, this one a Babalao.
Zulu, do you know there are many Africans on the continent that they are rich, they have money, they're making money, they're doing good as well. Just like
No. Hold on, Mike. I asked him a specific question out of the three things that I gave. Which one of them were incorrect?
no, the part where they think is incorrect is like when you're saying all they need to solve their problem is to invite like 150 Black Americans, come and bring all the solutions, And that's where they find it ridiculous because they've lived in America. And just like I told you earlier, like, I mean, the African Americans don't have the industrial plants to bring it because what Africa needs is no money. Wait, let me learn. What you need to understand is, listen. What Africa needs is no money.
Mike, repeat to me what I said.
What you're saying is you guys you started by saying you came to set up Ethiopia or something in that line.
We helped necessarily in producing the planes that they use necessarily in one of their conflicts.
No, you didn't build the plane.
Bro, I can go get you the name and go put him in the chat. You go
No, what you're talking about is when you create an airline, right? Like many people are creating, I can start my own airline business today. It's like starting a line of taxi
bro,
business.
He was literally the head mechanic.
Wait now.
Bro, you asked me questions, but you don't know the answers, bro. Go
ahead talk. Now I'm trying to explain. Go ahead speak. Out of
the plans that I gave, what one of them were incorrect?
Was incorrect. I just told you. You're saying all the Africans need is just get at least by 150 Black Americans. Not even all of you, just 150 of you can come over there and just fix the problem.
To be fair,
and they know that the problem of Africa.
Training. He was referring to military training. That's a specific area.
And even that, you say military training. Are you saying that the Africans don't have this? Come on, which military training? They're not going to come from. Wait. Are you saying because?
I'm telling you this for a fact, bro. The African militaries are a fucking joke, bro. I'm not saying this to be mean.
And on what?
But it is a well-known fact, bro. I've been looked up, bro. I've been to different places on the continent, man. Y'all have some of the most outdated weaponry that I've ever seen.
Okay, so weapons. Okay, let's touch on. The example you're giving right now is weapon, right? Okay, so they have outdated weapons. So now, are you telling me that that solution is a Black American that will present it? The weapon issue.
Yes, we manufacture weapons over here. Yes, we do.
No,
No, hold on, bro. Hold on. We do not have a completely goddamn what you call it, a mass index weaponry system. That's different. I think you must understand. We do not have in America have quote unquote a whole military complex dedicated just to make weapons. If they did that, we would be at right now the war with white people. We have smaller scale to make grenades, AKs, small weaponry, small what it was, rocket launchers, right? Thing that you quote unquote just like the Afghan or the Taliban held off the entire necessary U.S. Army, right, with all this military, with all the firepower, because what did they know? They knew military science, they knew the area, they knew how to necessarily attack the enemy and not be attacked necessarily, and they were able to hold off the entire U.S. military for fucking almost 10 years.
The Afghan were being supplied weapons by the Russians.
Mike, let me give you
No, wait, please, wait.
Can I just give Mike, you started this thing again now. Let me just give an
analogy. Please, now, just give us. You've been here for hours
both of
now.
you have been talking. I just want to give one analogy. See,
okay, go ahead.
Can you imagine when the Songa Empire was about to confront the
you want to take us offline, man.
Can I just finish my analogy? Can I finish my analogy?
It's not coherent with what we are talking about here, man.
It is. If I was saying it, then it has to be. I'm not just let me just finish it. If the Songa Empire had advice from people from the Mukan kingdom on how the cannons worked, maybe they would have had a better result against the Songa Empire. That is what we are looking at right now. We are talking about people from the first world nation thinking about sharing knowledge, in other words, knowledge transfer about how to adapt to first world confrontations, and you're saying, oh yeah, we already know that anyway. Maybe we do, but we are not demonstrating it.
Okay, good. Zulu, let me ask
Can I jump in? Can I jump in, please?
Hold on. Amara, give me a second. Let me ask you this question, follow-up question. Okay, Zulu, name you mentioned that Black Americans are producing weapons. Name one African American weapon producing company that I can take to Africa right now.
You can take to Africa, but you can't. You can't move that shit over there, bro. I mean, well,
you're not producing the weapons, man. Come on, you're not producing anything, man.
Okay, I can drop them in the chat for you.
Like I said, I give you credit for your effort, for your desire to want to help. But what we're saying is that you don't have it. You don't have it yet. Maybe you may one day. Trust me, I'll be the first to take a Black American company to Africa to go counter the Europeans or the Chinese and what they're bringing. But you don't have it, man. What you can say you want to bring is capital. That's it. Like just like me and Tunaja would do. We'll go there with our dollar power, and that's it. But as far as saying you're bringing what Africa really needs, which is industries, you don't have it, man.
But they do have access. The defense minister himself is African American. They do have access. The military is made up of a lot of African Americans.
Take the white man's company to take Lockheed Martin to Africa. Lockheed Martin is not going to produce for Africa.
Access is different from
access. It's the same access the African government have to American government to buy weapons. That's it. Supply weapons to the continent. That's the most he's going to do. You supply them weapons.
Do you think if we had the knowledge will not help even without weapons?
Which knowledge? That man does not have knowledge of producing anything, man.
Hey, hold on now. If you knew the power of a weapon,
can I jump in for a minute?
Go ahead. Go
ahead.
Can I jump in for a minute?
Mike, I'm gonna ask you one question. What's the ballistic on a 5.56 round, man? Can you tell me? What's the stopping power on a 5.56? I'm military trained, so what's the stopping power on a 5.56 round? What's the ballistic?
What is
the
stopping power of a specific gun?
That's not relevant. Can you make it? Can you make the weapon?
It's not about making it. It's also about avoiding it when you are in conflict.
Fighting, bro. It is very relevant, bro. Okay, my question is
can you make the gun?
What's the best round for what's the best round for armor piercing?
Listen, man. Money walk, bullshit talks.
You're a man. You got to defend your own nation, bro. How you gonna do that, man?
That's not what I'm talking to you about.
What's the best caliber for army take rounds, man?
You are talking irrelevant stuff, man.
Oh, now
it is relevant. It is relevant. I just told you if those
what you saying is not relevant to my point. My position.
Songa Empire knew
I didn't come here to talk about Songa Empire.
He just gave you an example. What is wrong with you? He just gave you an example. If the Songa Empire knew about the power of the cannons, they would not send their cows towards the cannons. If they knew
how's
about
that
the
relevant to my position, Tunaja? How's that
because he's
relevant to my
telling you that
point?
he just gave you a direct evidence saying this is saying that you know the stopping power of a certain type of weapon and you don't have a clue and you're
That's
saying
not that's not relevant to my point and my position.
but your position is the ideal one. You are saying that whether they can transfer the technologies directly to
No, transfer. No, he doesn't even know the technology. He doesn't have the means. He doesn't produce it. It's what I'm telling you.
He doesn't have to produce it, but the knowledge is also
Which
important.
knowledge of how God can blow your head off? Who doesn't know
Yes.
who doesn't know that a bullet can blow someone's head off? Who doesn't know that?
The more
He's asking me the power of a wait. He's asking me the power of a gun, the strength of a gun. How's that relevant to knowing how to build
I
it?
just gave you an example that if the Summer Empire knew about the power of the cannons, they don't have to own the cannons.
They didn't know about the
but they
power of
can
the cannon.
avoid it.
They
don't
didn't
have
know.
to
So
own it,
they didn't.
but they
When the
can
cannon
avoid
exploded,
it.
they didn't know the power of it. Abi. When the cannon exploded, they didn't know the power.
That was a battle and they lost immediately. If they
But
knew the power
okay,
of the
so they didn't know
cannons,
the power of
avoid
it after losing the battle, right?
Don't you understand the difference? If they knew the power of the cannons, they will avoid it. Even if they don't own it, they will know how to avoid it. That's why it's important to have knowledge too. I understand what you're saying, Mike.
Who doesn't know the knowledge of nuclear explosion? Tunaja. The Africans don't know. The African people don't know that nuclear bomb can explode, and they haven't seen gunshots.
Can I jump in for a minute, man? Let me jump in for a minute.
Let Amara talk, man. Let Amara talk.
Let me go in for a minute.
Tunaja just like the
Let me
one
go in for a minute. Let me go in for a minute.
No, because you're not
Okay.
understanding.
First of all, African countries can't feed themselves. African countries cannot provide the basic necessities: 24-hour electricity, water supply, employment for their people. So those are the key priorities before you think about any nuclear weapon or anything first. You jump in the gun. Take care of the basics first. When you excel at the basics,
the Chinese got the other one first.
So now you let the guy talk now. The guy just came on.
Listen,
you don't let people talk. You've been here for 5 hours.
The Chinese,
talking.
You want an example? The Chinese are the only people, are the big, and listen, Chinese have lifted 600 to 800 million people out of poverty because they prioritize their life. Chinese, right now, in their military, let me tell you something. The Chinese, their military budget in the 80s and their naval presence in the 80s, and now it's completely different because they prioritize themselves. They had Taiwan. Taiwan was out there, but they didn't make it a priority because the first island chain, because they had bigger priorities domestically. They prioritized their budget was prioritized domestically.
Hold on, Amara. Do you know that the Chinese completed their nuclear weapon technology?
China and Russia gave China the nuclear technology. Okay,
and in the 50s and 60s,
they only had 500.
It was the Russians,
yeah, because he started with saying that you shouldn't go there first. But the Chinese went there first.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. Chairman, when he came on, listen.
Okay.
When he came on, the nuclear weapon, China didn't for no nuclear weapon. Russia gave China the nuclear weapon as a counterbalance to the United States. But number one priority was the Cultural Revolution in China. Cultural Revolution in China. You know how many million people died out of hunger in China during the Cultural Revolution? That's when the Communist Party came to power. Hunger was in China. Millions and millions of people died. To the point that they made a one-child policy. Don't have too many kids. You can only have one kid because they could only feed a certain amount of people. They prioritize the domestic front first. Then they came back. The nuclear weapons you're talking about, it's only now that China is trying to bring it up to 1,000. After so many decades. Because priority, the Communist Party's contract with the Chinese people was to take care of you. You keep us in power, we take care of you. You see what I'm saying? They grow the biggest middle class. They had a lot of billionaires. They had Deng Xiaoping was the man that started the whole thing. He liberated, opened up China to the outside world. You see what I'm trying to say? They prioritize, even when they are building places like Shanghai, Guangdong, were close to the coast. They were close to Korea and Japan. They prioritize them first before they prioritize the middle part, before they prioritize the Russian part. The Russian part, close to the border with Russia, were the last people to have any kind of development. That's when these guys prioritize. We cannot even provide the basics. The basics, 24-hour electricity, 24-hour water supply, what you call it, food security.
So why do you think
food processing? Food? No. We don't have food processing. Now you know what the import bill of Africa is? $144 billion every year. That's what they use in dollars for bringing food. Bringing food. No, but what, you don't understand what I'm saying. I'm saying, if you look into other people as example, look to a place like China. They prioritize their people first. They make sure that they build a middle class. Their people are well fed, 25 electricity, the basic necessities.
So what should you go for first?
Before
or at the same time? That's the
number one
That's
priority.
what he's telling you, man. So the first priority is to set your people.
The number one priority, domesticate.
Domesticate.
The
That's
basic
true.
needs. We don't even have it. You're talking about
Thomas Sankara was
nuclear
doing.
weapons.
Domesticate what? What do we
domesticate? Do you have 24 hours
Domesticate
electricity
means
anywhere in Africa?
You
Do they
focus
have
on the
25
primary need.
electricity? Affordable housing? Is there affordable housing in every African country? Is there food security? 100% food processing, like United States. They don't manufacture anymore. Now I'm just giving you an example.
Listen,
But
there's no
they
need to argue, man.
manufacture
He's
all their
making valid
food.
points. There's no need to argue against
They
that.
manufacture all their food. Manufacture all
arguing
their food
against it. I'm
first.
asking questions. Why can't you ask questions?
Wait, did Lasulu, did you have anything to add to the panel?
Oh, you talking to me? My bad. I didn't hear you. Oh, you mean the other? Oh, yeah. Other guy. My bad. Go ahead. Let him go.
Yeah, I'm asking questions. Why do you think our African leaders haven't been able to do that? You know, we have 4 refineries in Nigeria that is not functioning, and we know the technology is not very advanced because they invented refineries in 1901. Yet we cannot manage to get 4 refineries functioning in Nigeria. Why?
Well, he's not the one. He's not from Nigeria. He's not the one who's going to answer that for you. So I don't see why you're asking him.
I'm asking you, Amara.
Well, let me give you an example.
Amara spoke
Yes. What's the question? What's the question?
Why is it that we are not able to do all these things that are relatively simple to do? Putting your people first.
That's what.
And developing your this thing. Why?
You gotta ask your leaders now. Why are you asking us?
When we excel, listen.
There's no point
The question is.
we have to
Listen. The question is. I'm gonna ask you a question. You ask me a question. I'm gonna answer. Okay. When we find the sound management to excel at those, then we can prioritize other things. But until we have the administration to pursue all those things and excel at it, if we can't do those basics, we don't even need to be competing on other levels because we can't even do the fundamentals, the basics. That's the entry point.
Let me ask a question. Do you think we should copy the China strategy?
The Chinese strategy, they lost 100 and something million people in the Cultural Revolution out of hunger. Hunger. That never happened in Africa, though. I never see, they say Africa is hungry. I never see 100 and something million people dying out of hunger.
That is true.
Okay,
Exactly.
no, okay. But it happened in China. So they came up with a system where they opened up their country. You know, they had these economic zones on the coast, places like Shanghai, Shenzhen, all those places that are close to Korea and Japan. They opened up. They didn't open up the rest of China. They just opened those places first. They trade. Those places become prosperous, and then they move to the middle parts of the country. Priority. You see what I'm saying? But you gotta prove that you can excel at the fundamental basic level. If we can't excel at the fundamental basic level, why are we even talking about bigger things that we can excel at?
Are you saying that we should not copy the Chinese model?
I'm saying we should. The model is right there. There's nothing to hide. What I'm saying is you can draw example from Brazil. Brazil is another good example where they moved a lot from poverty and they moved up. Brazil, you can draw example from Brazil. You can draw example from
a
China.
European country.
You can another thing. You can draw
If
example from different places and come up with a solution. But the fundamentals that go across all these examples is excel at providing the basics. That's a starting point.
I think you are moving around it. I want to
I'm
pin
not
you
moving
down
around
in
it.
one
I'm
area.
not moving around it. You
Why are you
can't
dragging
provide.
argument?
You can't do the basics.
Let the new guy
What is
talk.
wrong with you, Mike? You have started this your nonsense again. I'm questioning somebody. You're saying it's an argument. I want to learn from the way he's answering. Okay.
So I'm now as your teacher.
If you have questions, you can ask.
If you say,
I'm trying to be constructive here, so allow me to be constructive instead of just interrupting people and questioning their intentions.
Well, you got other people here now. You gotta allow them.
Okay, then you ask questions.
If you want to learn, take his phone number and give him a call, and then he will lecture you. Well, you can't see him be pinning somebody down, asking him questions and things.
You questions.
You have all these other people here. This guy that just came in hasn't said anything. But you want to keep asking this guy questions over. I mean,
let him talk for himself. You are not the one.
we're not here to lecture. Everyone here to present their points, and that's it. Well, you are here dragging. If you want, only you speak on one guy, questioning him for 10 minutes when you have other people here.
Then if you have questions, ask him instead of being envious time, you stupid fool. What is wrong with you? You're like a child.
Let this new guy. He's not new guy.
He can't even ask questions. He let some other person talk. What an idiot. Mike does this all the time.
Okay, go ahead. Soon as I arrest, let the guy talk, man. The guy is doing here. He just came.
Shut up.
Let him talk, man. Go ahead, my brother, man. Last Zulu, go ahead.
All right. Who was the one who asked the question?
And he will stop you from having any constructive.
But then you ask me a question for 10 minutes.
All the time.
And the question is not even really.
If you have any questions, you ask.
Hey, can you control this guy, man? Come in. God damn. He goes on every platform.
You
can't chaotic and.
Oh, shut up. This is what he does. He goes.
I need to go get a job, man.
After the millennials, do you know that I was talking to this guy constructively, trying to get to this in a fruitful understanding of where his position is. But what he just did is try to disrupt it. This is what he does every time. He tries to
disrupting you. You went on for too long now. Just asking me questions.
What is the point of being here? What is the point of being here if you don't try to understand anything? You just talk. Is that what you are here for, Mike? If that's what
I'm telling you tonight, you have to respect other people on the panel. People want to talk to you. You're not the only one.
You don't want to talk. If you wanted to talk, you talk.
I didn't say me. I'm looking. The other guy that came in is being here for like 10 minutes, and you just ignored it.
I want to say anything.
Are you being fair? You know a guy that came in the show, like hasn't said a word.
Tunaja, do you only want to hear yourself talk, or do you want to hear other people?
No, I want to ask questions. If you want to ask questions, you can tell me you want to ask
questions. You ask 20 questions, where other people only you 20 questions. Come on,
that keeps talking all the time. That fool is the one that talks all the time.
Okay,
if the other guy wants to ask questions, let him ask questions. I will stop.
We'll come back. Let Lazulu
Why
go
would
ahead.
you be interrupting me and telling me not to ask questions where you are not asking and the other people are not asking? What is your
problem? We're waiting for you to finish, but you're asking on and on and on and on and on. And that's why I told you we two want to talk.
Interrupt me.
And that's what I did, and you're angry.
No. You are saying let other people ask a question. You are not asking a question. You are saying let other people ask a question.
Well, I have to let you finish, though. But I have to let you finish your question, but your question is never ending.
To ask a question, I will give you way. It's very simple. But you don't want to. You know what he wants to do. He wants to.
Hey, you see this guy's logic. He said if I want to stop him, I should stop him, and that's what I did, and he's angry.
No. You're stopping me from asking the question when you don't want to ask a question.
Your question was never ending question. You kept asking over on and on and on and on. And I'm like, okay,
ask a question then or make a statement.
I don't have a question. I'm just saying the next guy has to speak.
You don't have a question and you interrupted.
Okay, let's go. Let's move on. Let's move on tonight. I apologize. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry.
All right, Mike. You asked the question. What manufacturer in America that's black owned? Is that correct? Gun manufacturer.
Gun manufacturing. Yes. That's what I was asking it. Yeah.
Okay. I found one. So I'm at a website called Dominate the Moment, which seems to be like one of those gun clubs, and there's a logo, the National African American Gun Association, reporting in the USA, a gun manufacturer called Civilian Force Arms. All right. So clicked on the link that they had there. There was nothing there. So I found them on Facebook. And on Facebook, there's no photos. There's no videos. You go to the About Me, there's a lot of information such as a website, the same address as the other website. Nothing there. There's a phone number, which I didn't call. So basically, it's called Civilian Force Arms. So maybe at one time there was one, but as far as I can find, and I did have enough time to look around, this is the only one I could find, but it appears to be non-existent. And it also indicates here on the Facebook that it was a sports and recreation, because there's different types of gun clubs or different reasons why you make certain types of guns for certain types of things. So to answer that question, that's all I can find. Anything else?
Zulu FBA, can you respond to that? You know, because that's the question I asked you, and you told me that you do have, and someone just came in to debunk that you guys don't have one.
I can drop my link in a few minutes. Give me a second.
Oh, he's doing research. That's what I thought. I didn't think they, and that's what the point I was trying to emphasize. Like, you can't be saying you want to come save Africa when you really don't possess what the Africans need themselves. So that's just what I was. And he was telling me something about, asking me a question about the power of a weapon, and I'm like, who doesn't know the power of a weapon? We all know the power of a weapon. If you say you want to come to Africa,
so that you know how much what torch you can go, how much spin you have on the velocity of that bullet. These are the questions I'm asking if you actually have to do battle.
So if you come to Africa, that's what you want to offer us, to know how the power, how the guns can blast.
You say like I gotta offer you shit, like, you know what I mean?
No, he didn't say that at all.
Like, no, hold on. Like, everything I said was information and training and necessarily and making weapons that you can necessarily need. The fighting it's your own land necessarily. Unless you offering free land to people out there, that's the only reason people gonna watch that and actually fight. Like, I know my people better than anybody else. Bro.
Oh, so you coming to teach us how to fight, right?
Let me finish. Just ask me the question, right? That's the only one you actually have some boots on ground type of situation, right? But the fighting, that's your own land. That's your stuff. That's your women. That's your land. That's your stuff. If anybody needs to fight for it, it needs to be the men of that land. Does it not?
What exactly are you trying to say? Like,
bro, like I just said. Like, did you not comprehend anything I just said?
I know. I did actually.
Some people have comprehension issues. This is the problem I'm facing with them. These people, they have comprehension issues. They don't understand anything.
And that's why I have to keep it simple so we can understand you.
It's trying to. It is your own job.
So now you can translate what he just said then.
What he's saying is basically knowledge transfer. That's basically what he's talking about.
They don't own gun manufacturing anywhere. So which knowledge are they transferring?
They know more about the guns.
Oh, they know about the guns. So we need to know. We don't know about guns. I don't know
about the weapons of your enemies more than you do because of proximity. How can that not be clear for you to understand?
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God!
You say
the defense minister right now in the US is an African American, so he doesn't know anything about the military.
So so he's gonna go take a US classified weapons, whatever, some classified document, can't give it to African government. That's treason. That's treason. It's not gonna listen, because somebody's skin is black doesn't mean he's gonna carry out treason against his own country. The defense minister, just because his skin is black, doesn't mean his priority is go serve the African interest. Is to get to that position.
You find somebody that's willing to
your priority will always be to serve the United States interest.
An extreme case. It's just an example.
No. We're talking about regular people like Zulu FBA.
No, boy, you guys. I don't know. I think people just come here to just throw people and shut down discussion. That's what they are. I think some people come here. They just come here to shut down progress in our discussion so that we are stunted in our understanding of any topic. You notice how when you ask questions, some people try to shut you down. You notice how some people as if they can't even understand simple English. There's no grammar involved. Just simply pretend as if they don't understand. They are trying to stunt the discussion. That is why they do these things.
Anyway, back to what I was saying. Basics come first. Our basic needs are most priority. Is priority number one. We take care of our basic needs. We got food security. We manufacture 100% of our food. We manufacture 100% of our medicines. We have our own source of energy for power. We have water resources. Secure those resources first. You see what I'm saying? Build the middle class. Build an economy. Most of these people that prioritize these big weapons, check their economy. Their economies are up there. They can afford it. They can afford a huge military budget. Ongoing research. You know, some of these weapon systems takes a serious time, research time to develop weapons you need. Basically, you're not copy and pasting somebody else's weapon systems. You want to have an Africanized system that because you know your terrain better than anybody else. But you prioritize things when you have debt to take care of. You know, you're borrowing money from outside. You know, look at even a country like Russia. They have their resources. They weaponize their resources. Oil. You see what I'm trying to say? Food security. The people they went to war. Half the world starved out of food. Those are where you prioritize. It's not only the guns and the bombs. There are other means, economic means. You know, you can use as a weapon. You know, look at a place like Taiwan. Look at a place like Taiwan. Taiwan had chips, right? But the high-end chips, they put a lot of money into it. Now they dominate 90% of the high-end chip market in the world. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else is behind them. Even China, you know, can't go over there and say, I'm gonna take you over because they need the chips. It'll take China another 10 or 15 years because they were not investing in that. They were buying from somebody else. So let's secure the basics. When you can feed yourself, your people are happy, you got enough energy, enough to flow, then you can think of weapon systems. You know, the people, the basics, we can't even cover the basics. Yeah, we can't even cover the basics.
Do you notice that the Taiwanese people are also Chinese? They are actually Chinese people.
I got a quick question I'm asking. All right, do you know the situation of Afghanistan? Do they have necessarily what is it? 100% food security?
The situation in Afghanistan, from what I recollect, from the Russians all the way to the Americans, they're just a menace. They got what's the guy's the group thing that's causing havoc.
Taliban.
It's a terrorist. The Taliban. It's a terrorist play. It's not a resource play. Like Iran and Iraq. Iran and Iraq. They had.
I'm asking them. Do you know if they have 100% food security?
I don't know if they have food security, but one thing I'm saying, most countries, even Ukraine that is in war today, they have food security. They were one of the biggest exporters of food. Wheat, they and Russia were neck and neck on wheat. Two countries go to war, bread prices shot up the roof. No flour, no bread. Everything's going up. That's what I'm trying to say. You know, secure. But listen, Russia, not only did they secure their oil and whatever, they had money put aside. Their foreign exchange reserves was there. You see what I'm saying? To counter against the dollar. That's what in the good times. They did that in the good times, building it up. So in a time like this, they got something to run to. You know, the gas. Look at gas, natural gas. The Europeans think they're playing with them. They don't.
My point. Hold on. I said that to say this, right? To win a military conflict, right? This is not, I'm talking about, let's say, running the state to the optimal level. I'm saying to win a military conflict, bro. All you need is roads. You need to have enough food to get to your soldiers, and all you need is military.
Why are you going to? My question is.
Let me finish.
Well, last Zulu, the African military already know that. I mean, the basic training, they know. They take food to the soldiers.
No, Mike, let him finish. Mike, let me finish. Let him finish.
Right? I was saying this necessarily, right? Because let's be honest, bro. These European nations are not going to let off their neck, bro. Like that's not going to happen.
What's on what neck?
They're not going to let that happen, bro. Like how China became a country now is because the U.S. directly invested in that country directly against necessarily their own military doctrine, which comes by was this carry quickly, it was CARROLL, Carol, right? His own military experience, necessarily a general 5-star general with 40 years of experience, right? He said, if you give this country this, you give this information and technology transfer to this country, they will overtake you in 100 years. They did it in fucking 80.
No, but America did not give China the technology. China stole it.
They gave every piece of it.
China stole it. No, China stole it.
Let me finish, right?
China stole the schematics that they gave them to manufacture.
Military science. You don't really need that much. All you need is a transfer information. Because transfer you the information. What you finish? Hold on, let me finish. What you do with it is entirely up to you. If I give you the technology necessarily, right, to build a rocket, as long as you got the technology and the willpower to do it, you can make that rocket. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but listen to what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is,
you have the leadership, and your
what I'm trying to say is,
on doing that. That's why y'all in this.
Let me answer your question. What I'm trying to say is, you prioritize your budget. Certain plans, you might have a plan to be the biggest military in the world. Countries, they're hidden. Countries with hidden agenda. For example, India. They by their makings, their priority down the road is to be the biggest military in the world, to be the biggest economy in the world. But what they do, they play their role and buy their time. Certain things you do now, certain things you wait later. When you're strong enough in a position, you position yourself to get stronger. Then you can come out and take the gloves off. That's what I'm trying to say. When you're prioritizing your country, look at the necessities, the essentials first, and knock them out the way. When you excel at the essentials, you can provide for yourself. Then look at Russia. They got weak. They went to war. They sanctioned them. The people got all. You know how much billions of dollars Putin spent on food manufacturing in Russia? A lot. So because he knew someday he was going to do this, so he prepared himself. You see what I'm trying to say? So they don't have a shortage if they got sanctioned against them. That's how people prioritize themselves. That's what I'm trying to say. You prioritize, even if you have plans like that. You buy your time. You wait when you're in a stronger position. When you got food security. I don't care if anybody put any kind of sanctions on you. You can manufacture any type of food you want. Your people are not going hungry. Medicine, everything.
I noticed that when you say food security, you never mention security or defense security. You forget that all these countries
but listen.
First thing that they do is take care of defense security. If they take care of that first, then the space that creates is what they used to do the rest of the
I disagree because I disagree. You know why I disagree? You know why I disagree? You know why I disagree?
It is already happened.
You know what I'm saying? Listen, how much? Okay, let's take the Russian budget. How much were they spending on military, and how much were they spending on the economy?
Like crazy.
Russia got the stuff.
Like when they were the Soviet Union, they spent
Russia has 75 billion. Russia has a $500 billion economy. Okay, they have 75 billion just on military. The rest is the economy.
See, Amara, let's try to be coherent here. When Soviet Union became a strong
Putin came to power.
empire, No,
Let's
I'm
say
not talking about
since Putin came to power.
By the time Putin came to power, the job had already been done. You see, okay, Putin is a very example of what I'm talking about. When Boris Yeltsin was in office, all hell broke loose in after the fall of the Soviet Union. You know, Boris Yeltsin was just a drunk going to Washington begging for money and all the rest of it. And within 4 years of Putin coming to office, the Russian state has been restored to order. Why? Because there is already work that has already been done to ensure the defense security of that country. It's easier to recover when you have the space for it. Why do you think Africans have never recovered? That is the reason.
Okay, let me answer a question. We're talking about two different people right here, two different countries. There was the Soviet Union, then there's one republic out of there called Russia. The Soviet Union was made of 15 republics, including Russia was just one of those republics. So the work has been done for the Soviet Union, not specifically Russia alone. You see what I'm saying? So when they came in, they inherited a situation. It's an inherited situation. It was not a priority made that we're going to build a military. It's an institution that was inherited from the former defunct Soviet Union.
And Russia
so they prioritize the economy.
They created that defense. This is the situation they created. That's why they
Man, listen, there were nuclear weapons in Ukraine. There were nuclear weapons in Moldova. All these places had nuclear weapons.
All of them were transferred to Russia.
All of those places had nuclear weapons. The know-how was spread among the republics.
See,
you see what I'm trying to say?
They transferred their weapons to Russia.
Ukraine had to. The only reason why Ukraine gave up their nuclear weapons to Russia, you know why? Because the European Union said, it wasn't the European Union, it was the United States that compelled them. You know what I'm saying? Because America and Russia, America and the Soviet Union had a pact to reduce the size of their nuclear weapons. Okay? As part of that, for Russia to agree, they say, well, let's disarm Ukraine.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? As part of the agreement. So I'm telling you, so if there wasn't an agreement,
they took care of their defense first. That is the point.
Ukraine did not take care of the defense first. Ukraine did not take care of their defense
exactly.
first.
And guess what's happening to them today?
A nuclear weapon.
Look at what is happening to them today because of it.
Like,
are you learning the right lessons from all? Are you learning the right lessons from all these historical
you gotta take care of your basics. Why are we gonna spend 90% of our military budget?
When you keep saying basics, what you are refusing to learn, or whether you are willfully doing it, you are willfully refusing to learn the fact that it's your defense security is the one you secure first before you create security.
Who are you fighting? Who is your immediate threat? Who is your immediate threat?
Oh my God! I can't.
Who is your immediate threat?
This is not.
Who is your immediate threat? Is anybody invading you today? Is anybody that declared that they're going into Africa and invading any African country today? Has anybody made that proclamation? Has anybody made that proclamation?
It's obvious.
Listen, listen.
Ukraine manufactures food all the time. Guess what's happening to them now? They're getting attacked because they gave up their nuclear technology that they had.
I'm talking about us.
In the wrong, but that's our problem too. We never took care of our defense.
No. If anybody, okay, Russia always said they will attack Ukraine. They always made it clear, openly. Has any country made it openly clear that they'll attack African countries?
Not in 1990.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No.
So since
you said no country is threatening to attack African countries. Are you serious?
Has any country made it openly clear that they're attacking an African country militarily?
Oh my God!
Has any country made that declaration? Has any country made that declaration? Because I know Russia did for Ukraine. No other country has openly said they're going to attack an African country.
Because we are not risen to the point where they need to even threaten us.
Nobody has ever said you don't have a threat.
We have not even raised our head out of where we have been hiding all this for 400 years.
But bro, take care of your basics.
So we have not
take care of your
basics. The security, don't you understand that? You can't get
security. How would you spend millions of dollars, billions of dollars on buying arms and ammunition and building bombs, and your people starving.
Buying.
And your
What do
people
you think
starving.
Russia did? But China did
Man,
the same
it
thing.
doesn't make sense. The political
But
aspect
China
of
did the
it
same
will
thing,
not let
though.
you last.
Amara,
You won't survive politically.
let's be rational here. Amara, let's be rational.
Yeah, but
China,
politically, people will take to the streets. People
let me
take to the
ask you
streets
now.
politically.
Okay, I saying that in Africa, the people are not ready for that. But the other parts of the world, they sacrifice a lot of their people to get to where they are now. You see what I mean?
Well, we look at the African
correct
situation.
there that our people are not ready to make the sacrifice. You know, one of the things North Koreans always say, that they are willing to chew grass than bow down for Americans. So our people are not even willing necessary sacrifices to achieve a higher status, because we are just going to be begging forever. This is a slave race now, as we are right now.
No,
If we carry on like this,
if we the diaspora,
because you are saying that we will never learn. You are saying we will never learn. We are going to fight against anything that makes us inconvenient. Because how do you think we are going to get out of this?
What it is? Well, because you prioritize the government all the time. Even like what I said, anything from food security to medicines and everything else that we need. You know, it takes entrepreneurship. You have examples in Nigeria, Dangote. Okay. 100,000 goats flying around. That makes the best for Africa. That's when you have companies that have 5,000-10,000.
Your mic is tripping up. I think it's set. No, okay. Go ahead. Your mic was just shaking for a moment there.
What I'm saying is, you have 100,000 goats. If you have entrepreneurship and corporate conglomerates all over Africa, this is what China does. They give you tax breaks to invest in certain industries, do research in certain items, because they want to monopolize it or be domineering or competitive. You see what I'm trying to say? But our governments do not have the money.
You know what I would suggest for Africa?
Entrepreneurs, listen, let me finish. Entrepreneurs, Dangotes and other people have shown that entrepreneurs can invest in any kind of thing in Africa to improve food security, medicines, the basics, and let people live a good life, not the government. Now, when the governments have a lot of these strong companies, they can tax them, a lot of a wide tax base. Then you can take that money from your tax base and invest in weaponry. You don't even have a tax base that you can collect reliable taxes from. You know, you don't even have that.
For me, let me just add this. Sorry, Casa. I think my approach would be a technological revolution whereby I will put it at the tippy top, that there has to be almost 50% of people that are going to university focus on technological based courses, whereby we have to push technological innovation, even if it is at the detriment of sometimes even the environment or even lives. We have to push it rapidly, because that's one. And then you have to approach a view of defense, because technology will also help feed people. If you innovate quickly enough, you can use that to apply.
I agree across the board. But basically, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question real quick? All right. So so what is the 4 ways you stop a military force?
The 4 ways you stop a military force.
What are the 4 ways you stop a military force?
You stop it and invading military force? An invading military force?
No, the 4 things are still the same regardless. I'm just asking, do y'all know?
You talk about military tactics? Military tactics to stop an invading army? That's what you're talking about?
Going to another place. It's the same. It's all the same thing. It's the same scenario. Yeah.
One of
let's do not go with that. I'm not interested in the military thing.
I think one of the ways you do that is to deter them from coming in by being military ready. And secondly, is one of the other ways to deter them is to have alliances that you know, that will limit their ability to be able to fight you with their full force.
No, that's wrong. That's wrong, man. That's wrong. It's simple. It's logistics. It's food necessarily, food security. Whittle down their numbers, and that's basically it, bro. Because like, and when you come to any military squabble necessarily, it comes in two things. Hey, can I cut off your military supply lines so you can actually get any food, right? That's logistics, right? Or can I necessarily kill what is your grain, your food, whatever? That's actual food. That's the most important thing in actually defending or having some kind of offense. You need food, you need logistics, you need what's the armament necessarily, and you need manpower, right? I only have 4 ways. I can either whittle down your manpower, whittle down your let's say your swords or whatever you're using to battle with, right? Using your logistics, and after that necessarily is food. Without these 4 things, no army can survive going no place or defending itself. That's the
but you are saying, but your question was a little bit misleading then, because when you said stop, it means that they are already moving in.
I'm saying to stop somebody.
But in other words, what you are saying that they are already attacking you, because all these things apply when they are already in your country.
You overlook what I'm basically saying. It don't no matter if you're attacking or defending. These 4 things necessarily, that's how you defend or attack somebody regardless. If I'm attacking you, if I cut off your food supply, eventually you'll starve to death. If you're attacking me necessarily, if I cut off your food supply, you're going to die out in the field. If I cut off your logistics necessarily, you can't get supplies to you, so then you're going to die out the field from various things.
Okay,
right?
I hear what you are saying there. This is. You see, hold on. I think I hear what you are saying there. This is why, in a way, we are saying similar stuff, but for us. The reason why I included the alliances that you have is also part of cutting off the ability to function, isn't it? Because if in the context of the world right now, if the America is coming to you, how are you going to stop them? Except if they're going through Iran or going through somewhere in China. So if you have alliances with those people, you can limit their ability to function. You can't do that from your country, can you? If you're in Africa, you can't do that.
No. Okay. These are the pillars. These are what I'm saying are 4 pillars. Now, how you implement them is different, right?
I see
how you implement them or how you go about doing it. You can either get allies to do it. You can necessarily, which is you cut off the supply lines, or you cutting off their food supply. The pillar still has to be broken. That's what I'm saying. These are the 4 pillars that the army stands on. The tactics and how you use it is completely different. Like it's saying the art of war, the way I use my tactics can be as dark as the sun. It doesn't really matter, right? But these are the 4 things you need if you're trying to have freedom for your country. First off, if you're talking about the answer for the Congo or in West Africa, Africa has.
So list the 4 again, please. Just list the 4 again, so it is clear for the viewers and myself. Because I don't catch or cut all the 4.
All right. First off is what is it? Logistics, right? How are you getting those supplies to that person, right? How are you gonna be able to move supplies here and forward
to your own,
right? Second thing is your manpower. If you don't have manpower necessarily demand any material, you really can't do nothing, right? The second one necessarily is food security, because all your food security usually comes from one central place. Like you have a farm that produces the food, and the foods go down the road that gets to you, right? And then secondly is the material or the weaponry that you use to fight, right? Without these 4 things, if I take these 4 things or take 2 out of the 4, your army will collapse.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I agree.
So if you're talking about,
go ahead.
What I'm saying is Africa has basically 2 out of the 3 necessarily already built things. You have enough food necessarily in your country.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Yeah,
right.
That's true.
So you only necessarily what else do you have manpower? You have a shitload of people in Africa, right? So you got the manpower, right? So what else do you need? You need logistics, which is building roads necessarily. And I'm pretty goddamn sure all you need is a what is it to defend to make roads is what is it? What's the name of that damn thing? I forgot the name of it. And flatten a road. I forgot the name of it. It's cement mixer and
cement mixer and
what's the name of that shit? The big thing. I can't know the name of it. The big thing that flatten the road. I forgot the name of it. Right. So that's the only thing you need, and then you need what is it? Military arms, right? And then it was in the knowledge of it, and that's what I'm saying, knowledge of the fucking terrain. But that's kind of that's nothing.
Yeah,
that's there, right? The 4 things you need, you already basically got 2 of that, almost 3 of the shit that you need. The reality is Africans do not have the first one, which is military arms. Don't produce no weapons, right? And necessarily not from most places that I've seen in Africa, most of the roads are shitty. You can fix roads with like a 20-man team necessarily, right? And if you tell these people your freedom depends on you having a better start, a better quality of life, the kids necessarily can go to school and do whatever. Those men will do whatever it fucking takes to build that road. It's not that hard, bro. It's not that hard. It's just the reality. You have people who are not willing to do the work. If you look at
I think there is another arm to stopping a military ability to do them harm too. Because if you have the ability to harm them too, you can deter them from attacking, just like the way Russia is behaving right now. The reason why America cannot go in there directly because they know America.
That's a blue water navy. That's a little bit gangster. I mean, Africa ain't got that kind of power yet. I'm saying just I'm saying to get people off your neck.
Let me ask you a question, Kazulu. Let me ask you a question.
Do you know that you can?
You know the history of all the people that went to war.
Madam, let me just ask you. I know that I've been talking a lot. I know I've been.
No, wait a minute. I want to ask him.
Okay, go ahead.
History of all the countries. Look at Germany. Germany, when they went to war, how was their economy?
It was shitty. It was horrible.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was the best performing economy. Germany's economy was the best performing economy.
They had no economy. That's why they
World War II, Germany's economy was the best performing economy. They had everything. A strong middle class. They had enough manufacturing power. Everything. That was the best performing economy in the world. Even there are people questioning, what's the point of war? We have everything we need. What's the point of conquering extra territory? Majority, you look at a historic analysis of people that go to war, their economies are doing good. They're in a better position economically. They got enough cash flying around. You see what I'm trying to say? But and when they go to expand, listen, when they go to expand, they don't stretch themselves. They got enough to play. Every country historically that goes into war is doing well economically. You see what I'm trying to say?
They got their military sorted. That's why they were able to.
They got enough money coming in.
You can't
they got enough money coming in
if you don't have security.
No, but listen, they got enough money coming in to do a lot of research. The taxations that when you build a weapon system, when you build an entire weapon system, let me say, for example, the Navy, let me say the aircraft carrier group. You want all the frigates. Listen. You want the frigates. You want the aircraft carrier. You want the weapons that goes on the planes. The planes that carry. You want what you call far-flung presence. When you're doing all that research, it takes billions and billions of dollars of research. A lot of failed research. Not all of them are successful, but you're willing to pump money towards a goal continuously. Where are you getting the money from? From the good economy. You know, it's trial and error till you fine tune and improve your weapon systems. You see what I'm trying to say? Even if you're buying, look at countries like Saudi Arabia. They got oil and the economy is doing good. They got somewhere they're getting their money to put into a system. You see where I'm coming from? Well, you can't be dead broke. You can't be dead broke and put all your money. You talk about Russia, the Soviet Union example. They put 90%, Soviet Union put 90% of their budget into their economy. That's why the Soviet Union fell economically. That's what I'm trying to say.
They failed economically for a number of reasons. Because first off, the people didn't want to goddamn do the work. You necessarily first off, they had a different economy. Said, well, what was the leadership? It was called what was it? It's not
the Soviet Union is socialism. Socialism. Communism was a political system. Socialism was the economic system. Communism was the political system. Socialism was the economic system. But the economic system was a planned economy, not an open, free economy.
Okay,
my
question is like this, right? Now, if I told you, bro, I'm gonna pay you $10, right? You necessarily are a scientist who spent 15 years of your life studying all the necessary greatest science, right? We got the janitor. You and the janitor getting paid the same amount of money In what world do you think you're gonna work there for long?
You're not gonna work there that long. The bottom line is when you pay researchers top dollar
Okay,
for them to
all right.
stay in locked in.
So we gonna leave that. So that's why they find
Yeah,
that
but,
shit collapse, right? So
yeah, but
secondly,
what
right,
I'm saying is you can't
let
take
me
all.
finish. Amir,
You can't take all your
I'm gonna
resources.
bring you a little bit of military history, right? Why did Europeans go and colonize the world? Because they had all the stuff, or why? They were financially. Hold on.
They were doing good economically. Economically, they were doing good. Financially, they were doing good. That's why they had the wealth to put in the money to finance wars. Wars need financing. It needs money in it. War needs money in it. Making weapons need money, consistent money. And let me tell you something. Weapon systems.
Let me finish, right? Let me finish. Let me put it like this, right? So, all right, cool. Like if you live in Nigeria, right? You Nigerian, right? Amir, right? You Nigerian, right?
I'm Sierra Leone.
All right, cool, right? So, I'm gonna ask you a question. Let's say you already got the capability to make AR-15s rockets. These are simple things that can be made handmade with minor tools. Not necessarily. We're not talking about a whole military complex. Just minor tools, right? If somebody told you, let's say we do the timeline or whatever, right? You about to get invaded by, I don't know, some goddamn country, right? And I tell you what, these people gonna come over here and kill you and take all your shit necessarily, right? What is the average man in that society gonna do?
Of course, in that situation, people are gonna arm themselves. But that's not the situation we are in Africa. You see what I'm saying?
Seriously.
When there is danger,
that is somebody.
What country openly? I ask you a question. What country openly declare war on an African country?
They don't have
like Russia. Listen. We have a military budget. All African countries. Let me answer the question. All African countries got a military budget. They buy weapons everywhere. They have the training from the European countries. I know that because I have family members in the military. One of my uncles was a top general in the military. He went to Sadhouse in England to study. Look at Sadhouse in England, which is a military training college, right there. That's why the old former colonial people go. What I'm trying to say, the training, the people got the training. The people got the training, and the African countries are buying weapons. But the percentage of their budget.
If me and you are fighting, bro. If me and you are fighting, I'm trying to take your resources, man. Do you really believe that I'm gonna give you the best?
In the event of that, yes.
Let me finish, bro.
But that's not what is going on now.
Amara, let some people talk. You don't let you're asking question and answering it yourself. You're not letting people even chime in.
Like, so my question is,
go ahead.
Hold on, wait a minute. Let me finish, bro. If me and you, we just two men necessary. So let's just we gonna take the mad countries out of it. It's me versus you, right? Do you think I'm gonna train you good enough to beat me if I'm stealing food out your refrigerator every day?
That's not what I'm talking. Okay.
No, come on. Answer the question, bro.
You know, give me. That's true. You're not gonna give me all your secrets.
Answer the question, bro. If me,
that's what I'm asking.
Come on, bro. Come on. Let's be honest with ourselves. That's
what you gonna give me a chance to answer.
Let's be honest with ourselves, man. If I'm
gonna give me a chance to answer.
Hold on, bro. Let's be honest, bro. Answer this question. If I'm robbing you every day, because you have francophone, all their money is in a French bank, bro. You have French people running through the goddamn country. Let's be honest where we at. Let's be honest, right? Hold on, bro. If I'm actually robbing you, bro, do you think I'm gonna teach you tactics to how to beat me and get me off of you? Please tell me the answer to that. Yes or no? Just yes or no.
No, but before we go there, what country are you talking about?
Yes or no, bro. After that, I'm gonna go. After that, yes or no, bro. Yes or no?
No, of course, no. But what country are you in?
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like, so at the end of the day, that's what I'm telling you, man. Like, it's we playing with ourselves on talking about they're not giving you full training, bro. I know for a fact, bro. They're not teaching you sniper tactics, bro. They're not teaching you how to make. But I'm telling you, they're not teaching y'all how to make.
I agree. Listen, What you can take off what the British or French teach you is take what you can take off of there, and the rest you get experience by even maybe fighting local wars or sending your
Okay.
troops in local war situations. Wait, let me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh,
Let me finish. Let me finish. Now, when I say local wars, like United Nations peacekeeping programs, okay? If you sign up your people and you dedicate a certain budget for United Nations peace program, you understand, or join the troops or whatever what the United Nations intervene in, yes, that's experience you can gather on top of what they're giving you, what they have already gave you. That's how you gain extra experience. You see what I'm trying to say? But you don't go looking.
Hold on, Amir.
Listen.
I don't understand. You're talking about experience. Can I just say something, please? Can I just say, hold on, Casa, can I just say something? I think the argument about why they have not declared to fight us, it's not, why should they declare to fight us? Because we have not even to break away from their control. We have not even made any move. The moment you make a move, that's when you know. Hold on. Let me finish my point. The moment you make the move, you will know who is after you then. That's exactly what you want to do. The moment you start raising your own military, watch what happens. Then you find that you have enemies by force.
Okay, give me one typical example.
Spin round.
Give me one typical example.
Eritrea. Do you see them now? They're not liking Eritrea because Eritrea has a totally different defense posture compared to many African countries. If you look at the way the Burkina Faso or Mali this regime is behaving, where they want to start increasing their military capability, you see that how they are hitting on them. This is what happens when you want to break free. They do it everywhere. Look at North Korea. Look at Iran. They do it everywhere. Anywhere you want to break free, they will try to get you down. That's how it works.
To Niger, a lot of African countries are signatory to a lot of arms agreements. But no American government, it's not the United States government or any other European government, put a gun to the African government's head to sign, to be a signatory to those. For example, I give a typical example, landmines, okay? Nuclear weapons, non-proliferation.
Oh God!
You see what I'm saying?
This understanding that you have
Listen. It's African countries. African countries individually are signed to those agreements that they will not participate. You see what I'm saying?
This you're making us argue about is so elementary. It's crazy. How can we be
arguing about
independence? Because you never got independence in the first place. What made you think you never own your country ever?
What?
You never owned a country for 400 years.
What independence? What independence?
Independence. Never got independence.
Yeah, because you tied. Listen.
Decide your own fate in the world necessarily. African nations do not decide their own fate in the world. That is
because who are the signatories? Who are the signatories to all these agreements?
If France tell you where you put your money at in most of these West African
listen,
in most West African nations, they tell you where your money is. They tell you can't produce no product. They tell you at what price you can sell your cocoa at. They tell you what price you can sell your coffee
listen,
at.
okay. Man, who signed that agreement?
Saying, bro, and you not really listening.
Who signed that agreement? Who signed that agreement? That agreement is between who and who? Is it binary?
It don't matter.
No. Let's talk sense, bro. Talk sense.
Every day, man.
Now, listen. You can break an agreement.
African leaders sign the agreement. If that's what you want to hear, African leaders.
Yeah, African leaders are the ones that sign the agreements. There is not.
So
listen.
What difference does it make whether we have our independence
what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. They can sign agreements. For example, okay.
Don't give example. Just go to the point.
The U.S. broke every agreement it ever made with anybody, bro.
Yeah, because a lot of countries break a lot of agreements too. A lot of countries, I see them. A lot of countries break a lot of agreements too.
Yeah, they're slow to breaking it. Africans are living by agreements that are paralyzing them.
Exactly.
Listen,
I mean, do you see Russians living by any agreement that's paralyzing them?
That's like me and you signing the
agreement. But it's self-inflicted. Now, what I'm telling you is self-inflicted.
See,
It's a
as for Zulu, I
self-inflicted
think
wound.
we need to go to a
It's not
different level.
self-inflicted, bro.
It's a self-inflicted wound.
Zulu,
It's a
Zulu,
self-inflicted wound.
Zulu, don't waste your
That's like
time.
me
Don't
telling
waste
you
your
can't
time too
you
much.
Yeah,
can't
it's
go
a
outside
self-inflicted
in your
wound.
house. Well, that's my house.
Listen,
Zulu, don't waste your time.
listen.
Zulu, don't waste your
It's
time
a
too much on that side. Let
self-inflicted
me just say
wound.
something. Can I just say something,
It's a
Amara? Let me say something, Amara.
self-inflicted wound. Let me
Amara, can I
finish.
say something?
Let me finish,
Stop
man.
stunting conversation. I need to finish my point. I'm not talking about your debate anymore.
Okay, let me finish mine. Can I finish mine?
I need to finish.
Can I finish
Let me
mine?
just say something.
Why
Mine is
do you
15
get mad
seconds.
when you don't
Mine is 15 seconds.
when you don't win?
Mine is
When
15
you have
seconds.
an
You have been talking
agreement,
already.
you don't get
You
mad.
have
You get
been
mad because you
talking.
don't win. You see what
Amara,
I'm
you have
saying?
been talking. You are doing
You've been
exactly
talking
what
over
I
me.
have
You've been
suspect
talking
that
over me.
some of you come here to do. You just come here to stunt
What you mean?
conversations. You
An
don't want to move
African
anything
leader
forward.
signed the
Guys,
You behave
agreement.
like
Yeah.
Down
let's not do
syndrome
this
people
right
that
now.
refuse to understand anything. Let me say
What
something
you
to
mean? I
Zulu, please.
understand. The only reason
15 seconds.
there's a law, the
15
only reason.
seconds. Amara, 15
Listen.
seconds. 15 seconds. Is it going to kill you?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Finish.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, Zulu, we're talking about how you can prevent other people from other people from invading you, and I mentioned that you can also have an offensive posture. You said because something about blue water navy and all the rest of it, and I was trying to make a point before the thing degraded. The point was that you can hurt another continent even while you are on your own continent. You don't need to live there. You understand that? And I think that is the direction Africans have to go, because if we have to have navy going everywhere, they're just going to mess us up. They're going to run that risk more than us. So where we have to start from, defend our territories, then they have the capacity to hurt them. They want to invade us because they have nuclear weapons. Because you have to be able to hurt them. If you're not able to hurt a bully, they are just going to keep bullying you.
First, I'm gonna say two things. Bro. That's called power projection. That's called power projection. When having a blue water navy is called power projection. That means
You can project it from your home base. See, if it is survivalist survival kind of stuff, because with this power projection we are talking about, is just about going to invade another country from another continent and all the rest of it. But when you are talking about defending the continent from another continent that just wants to keep them subjugated like the way Africans are being kept, you can defend your continent by saying, you know what, if you keep screwing with us, we are going to screw with your entire continent too. We have the power to be able to do that. We have the knowledge to be able to do that. If they want to mess with us, we mess with them too. Enough of these apologies constantly. It's just that simple. You see what I mean?
Okay.
And I think that's where we have to start thinking. We have to start thinking that we are not so disarmed that we cannot defend ourselves. This world doesn't, they don't control the oceans. They don't control everything.
Okay. Yeah, guys. So it's been about almost 4 hours, so I'd like to close out the panel.
All right, cool, man.
Well, let me go first before I'm about to go. I'm about to go out. Okay, let me just say the same thing. Priorities are priorities. Priorities number one: food security, build your economy, build a middle class, provide everything for your people. When you have a strong tax base, then you can build any type of weapon systems. But ride with what is out there right now. Prioritize domestically yourself. We don't have enough 24-hour electricity. We don't have water supply, affordable housing. Literacy rates. What's the percentage of people that go to school are literate? We have those big priorities that should be the biggest things in our budget. Security should be a basic deterrent until we can build a big enough tax base. When the government have a lot of money, then you can prioritize. You can build any type of weapon systems you want. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the submission, and you're welcome anytime. Yeah, go ahead.
I really wish when people talk, they use reality to tie into their analogies. History suggests that every people that has done this put their security first. If you don't put your security first, you tend to fail, like Africans never did, and we failed. Why? They succeeded, the Indians did, they succeeded, the Iranians are doing it right now, they are succeeding, the North Koreans are doing, and they are succeeding. If you don't know, Libya did it the other way around. They didn't put it first. They failed. Iraq decided to step back. They failed. It's just common sense. If you allow a bully to keep bullying you, they will keep bullying you. It's just simple. And regarding this conversation we had today, and I think this is something we need to start understanding. Sometimes it's good to flesh out points. And when somebody is asking a question, others should not try to just stunt the ideas. That I feel like not actually here to have a conversation, actually to stop the ideas from actually flowing. It's not only through this in the media that they stop us from talking. They use our own people to come here and start just stopping conversation. Basically, they'll just stop the conversation. They'll just say, don't discuss that. Don't do this. Why are you asking a question? How can you? And they are not asking any question themselves. We have to learn how to elevate the conversation to a higher level, because in the end, we need this quality information for us to be able to make better decisions. This is why somebody will come here and tell us that we should grow farms first before we've been trying to do that for 70 years and we never succeeded. Other people that did it the other way around have all succeeded, and they will still come here and tell us the same thing. I don't know how to help you if we cannot learn that those are people you have to really watch out for them, because I don't know what kind of knowledge they are using. Is it based on historical data? Where they will use that historical data and distort it. Even when you correct them, they will still keep distorting it as if it's not true. I don't understand that. And we have to learn to start calling those people out that it's not, they are making statements that is not logical.
Okay, no, definitely agree. Thanks, Tinaja, for calling in. Thanks to all the panelists. Yeah, I'll just close out. So basically, I don't even remember what we're talking about the last 40 minutes, but I'll just say, my thoughts on the stream, like on the topic of the stream. I think that what Congo and Zambia did is very unfortunate, but I also think that we shouldn't just act like Zambia and Congo are the sellouts and every other African country isn't. Not saying the people are sellouts, but by the way of the government, um, most of them are doing the same thing behind closed doors. Maybe it's just not as obvious. Maybe it's not that they're signing contracts with the US, but other Western powers. And I feel like if we don't learn from this and if we don't really observe what's going on, this is going to happen to other countries as well. Well, it's already happening, but I mean, we're going to see another public display of this happening with other nation states, and it's going to also get us upset. So I think that really, if anything, I really do believe that African unity is important. I really do believe that if we say that we're in regional agreements and organizations, we should actually be in them and be there for each other, because I feel like, and no offense to like anybody, but I feel like a lot of these regional organizations that we have, whether it be SADC, CEMAC, ECOWAS, EAC, it's probably another, the North African one. I feel like most of these regional organizations, they don't really have a goal, like they don't really have a plan. They have things that they said that they want to do, but those, I guess it's not a uniform attainable goal or achievable goal, and they really should work on that, because I feel like if we're in a union, we're an organization, and we say that we're there for each other, we should actually be united front and be there for each other. And that should be obvious not only for the continent, but for people outside of the continent to understand, hey, you know, if I want to mess with Benin, I can't, because Togo is gonna defend Benin, right? if I want to mess with Ivory Coast, I can't because Ghana and Nigeria are gonna defend Ivory Coast. If I want to, like, it has to be obvious to external forces or external members that you going to one country and things not working out does not give the okay to go to a neighboring country or another country in that region. There should be some kind of unison sentiment. So I'm not really too sure. I think they're saying the case of Ghana and Ivory Coast that's happening. I haven't really looked into that, but other than that, I don't really know any examples of countries that are or neighboring countries that are in like strong union and partnerships. I don't know. Maybe there's something going on in South Africa. I'll check that out next time. But thanks, Skip Block. Etymology of a misnomer. Afan equals the spiritual language. Ka equals forecast. Kakan equals Parsi slice. Afakano equals Afa Divina Tor. Afakato equals Afa Divina Tor. Masterly relabeled African by the invaders. No, definitely. No, shout outs to you. Definitely thanks for the super chat. So, yeah, I'll be back. If I'm not back on Sunday, then I'll be back for next week. But it was a great stream. And thanks everybody who commented, everybody who participated. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.